But for me, it's good to see that they battle each other in every session, and therefore, yeah, we took the right decision to went out of England to have a bit of sun, because it helps you, especially to bring the boys in a better mood.
How did the game go against the Lannister? What did you see there?
Top everything we tried to bring into the boys at the training session. They try to adapt to the game, and that's what they did brilliant, all of them. And it was really brilliant to see. What we can do better is even more critical in the last third. But it's the hardest game, and it's the hardest thing to get to the boys, and it will not come in between 4, 8, 12 weeks. So it's a process, and you have to do it, and you have to work every day in this process, and it takes time because it's like I mentioned, it's the hardest thing in football to score.
Of course, you could have scored a few more, couldn't you, in the game?
Oh, almost. I think we had more than 16, 17, 100% chances. So normally you have to score 8 times, then it's good. But unfortunately, just 2. But how they create and how they play, so that they did a really good job. But it was a copy paste from the training session, and that's good.
I think from the early touches we saw from Charlie Hughes at Norwich, we could see the quality he's got. He'd said about the mistake, no excuses. He said that himself. How much is there an importance on him putting that mistake
out of his mind? But that's the point. That's the first thing you have to learn. If you do a mistake, don't excuse yourself. And then it's fine. Everybody can do a mistake. I do it every day, but I have to learn and don't find excuses. So it's for everybody the same. Just the lads or everybody is doing more than maybe each other. Then you can do more mistakes because you did more before. And then I'm open for it. But don't do anything. That's a mistake.
As you prepare for Sunderland, then, how do you put that Norwich performance to bed? How do you address that as a team?
Oh, we had a lot of good situations, to be honest. But unfortunately, we didn't score, and we made easy mistakes. But also the games before. So you have to bring everything in the wrong direction, and that's what we did, and everybody can see it, and everybody knows. That we can do more and bring more on the pitch because we showed it also before, and I'm happy about my squad because they have a good reflection, and they really know what they did good and what they did wrong. Like we said before, the same with Charlie, no excuses because we lost the game, so we did not everything right. But it's also we did also not everything wrong. And you have to find the right balance, and it's all about development and improving. And now, we have the next chance against Sunderland. It's a top team. It's a young squad, but we're also young. But it's not young and old. So it's all about how good you are, and if you're good enough, maybe you're old enough. So that's how it works, and we know the strengths from them, but we have also the strengths.
Tim Volter talking to Mike White. Mike will recap the team news headlines shortly here on BBC Radio Inside Sport Live. So we'll come to Charlie Hughes in a bit because we'll hear from him later on. The latest international break came at the time when, just after the Norwich game, they talked about the timing of the last one. The timing of this one, probably, again, significant to get that group of players to perhaps do a bit more familiarisation with each other.
Yeah, we didn't really get that breaks away, which these are lucky enough to do. And I think that's massive, really. Do you know when you get a bunch of players together? Because there's certain players, let's say, if you did do these sort of trips, you'd come into training, you'd see 2 or 3 who sit around you, you have a little chat, we'd have a coffee with them, same ones after, then get in your car and go on. So you don't really get an understanding of what each individual's all about. But if you go on these trips away, you've got a lot of time together, so like you might be in lobbies, the receptions, waiting around, you end up sitting next to someone and getting a conversation with someone which you possibly because there's probably 20, 30 of them, you don't always, like say, go to the same person or mate that you travel in with. You can't just sit down and all of a sudden you start opening a new little world for yourself, getting to know a bit about the person and what their likes and dislikes are. Then all of a sudden you're thinking, I like this kid, where before I've never gone really to talk to him. I didn't see him as that sort of personality. So I think when you're away for that length of time, all the players will get to know each other, the strengths and weaknesses, what they're all about. And that's what it's all about, trying to bring closeness together, where you see international footballers now, and you think, we've got the best players in the world, and they just can't work together. And that's possibly one of the reasons that they're not together, don't understand each other as individuals. I was saying there's a struggle along that line where he's keeping trying to do that. A lot of clubs do it, get teams, and I'd have loved it even more. And it would bring me closer. I would work out for someone that I know that's got something really close to me, or he might be a family man, he might like something different, but you're thinking, you might gravitate to him a bit more. And that's what the trips are all about. Plus, working out on that training field, which is important. And what I do here, he does work them out on the training field when they're out there, still trying to get his point over. And we saw him in 3 games bounced up back-to-back games, that something's coming, something there, yeah. We've got to take that Norwich game away from it. Like I said, we start afresh now. Because we can't do that the whole season, it's impossible to do that. So it's going to be interesting today to see how high up or how far we've come.
The biggest thing is, and Swansea picked up on this several times now, is how exposed they are and how many times they're allowing teams to have shots on them. The last 4 games, they've had the opposition sides have had a total of 70 shots. Now, 23 of those have been on target, so just around about a third of them. That's way too many. You get the teams like at Norwich who are going to be clinical. You play these better teams, they are going to absolutely tear you to shreds. You cannot be that open and that welcoming in front of your own penalty area, in front of your own goal, and expect to get away with it. It's not going to happen.
We'll come on to that because we'll hear from one of the people in that defensive unit this afternoon here against Sunderland at the MKM Stadium, with kick-off in 25 minutes' time. BBC Radio Homicide Sport live from the MKM Stadium. We'll come on to one of the other main talking points off the field in the run-in to this game shortly, but with kick-off in 25 minutes, Mike White, what's a reminder of the team's headline.
And after that 2-week break, it is 4 changes from the side that conceded 4 down at Norwich. Zambrano, McLaughlin, Slater and Miller are the players to drop out. Hughes makes his full debut, having come off the bench down at Carrow Road. And Gustavo Puerta makes his full debut. He's impressed Tim Volta in that trip to Turkey, and the other 2 players coming in, Simons and Kamara. So the lineup with Panda in goal, the back 4 of Coyle, Jones, Hughes and Drabe. Hughes turned 21 the other day as well. Happy birthday to him. Simons is the sitter, Ballouni, Puerta, Malem and Kamara. And then Begier leading the line. On the bench are Choppy, Giles, McLaughlin, Miller, Zambrano, Slater, Pedro, Burstow and Palmer. As for Sunderland, it's an unchanged side from the one that played and beat Leeds United. And it's Aaron Connolly, he's on the bench. I've lost my train of thought there. Aaron Connolly's on the bench. He's not able to get his start yet. Whether he comes on against his former club will remain to be seen. It was a draw against, so that's why I paused, because I realised I said beat them. It was a draw against Leeds United. The game that saw Melier make that absolute howler of the European.
Continue closer to your club. BBC Radio Homicide Sports.
So, as Mike said just then, a reunion for a former Hull City player here at the MKM Stadium. Aaron Connolly, though, has started, as Mike was saying, on the bench. He's back now with today's opponents. For the first time, he's spoken publicly about the struggles with mental health and addiction, which appeared to have come to a head last season during his time with the Tigers. Now, here's part of the interview that he gave at World Mental Health Day to Sunderland's club website recently.
In football and winning games, scoring goals, it got to a point where the buzz was more from drinking alcohol than going out on a football pitch. And I used to look forward to the games finishing so I could have time to go and have a drink, go and socialise, I say. It was excuse to go and get drunk, go straight to alcohol, and that was where I got my buzz from. Whereas before, it was always the buzz of football, and the buzz of being around an environment like I am now, and feeling the way I am now, excited to play football, where for 3-4 years, I just wasn't there.
This all led to a breaking point earlier this year. What was that realisation like? Was there a moment where you just said, I can't do this anymore?
Yeah, there's. So I decided in, I think it was the end of July, sorry. It was too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't live the way I was living because it was killing people around me, to be honest with you, my family, my friends. And mainly it was killing me really. I had one of my best seasons last year at Hull, but off the pitch my life was a mess. And the manager at Hull, to be fair, always looked after me and always tried to help, but it just got to a point where it wasn't like life wasn't worth living. It wasn't a big dramatic thing. It was just my life was so unmanageable and I couldn't control what I would do, or I couldn't control my alcohol. And it just got to a point where I had to make a decision that I needed to go to a treatment clinic, and I spent a month there in the summer. And I just said to my agent, I don't want you contacting any clubs. I'm not doing this for football, I'm not doing this for anything else, I'm doing this so I can get my life back. And if stuff in football comes with that, then that's a bonus. But it wasn't even football in the end that was taking the biggest beating or battle. It was my life, my relationships, my family, my friends. Everything was just failing and falling apart. And when your parents are calling you, you're not answering calls because you know you're breaking the heart. It's time to realise that I've got a problem.
Aaron Connolly speaking to Sunderland's club website. Swanee, a rare thing in football, particularly when it comes to a club website interview, a very open and honest interview that Aaron Connolly's given.
Yeah, very much. And you feel sorry for him, don't you? Bless him. We don't see what's going on. People sit and pay the money and they've all got their opinions, but they've all got the problems as well. Obviously, that's a severe problem he'd have to deal with. And fair play to him, he looks like he's getting himself back on track, but he'll be always there in the back of his mind. But it's like keeping that support being the people around him. And we all know ourselves, we always seem to hurt the people who love most, don't we, in life, for whatever reason, because the closest ones to you, and that's just how it works. But you're saying, listening to him there, you hope he gets himself back on track, back playing football, what he loves, and get that buzz out of his football.
That was really powerful stuff, that, and quite difficult to listen to. But yeah, as you said, Jimmy, it's good that the club have done it and that he's been willing to talk about it as well. Because for years, and including when he came to the club, he came with a reputation of being and we'll put it in a sort of flippant term, but there's obviously a more serious side, a bit of a lad, you know, and he came with that reputation. And it's hard to shake that off, and he's basically told us why that was, because he had a problem, and we all know, you know, touch wood, but for the grace of God, I don't, but when you hear people talk who've had alcohol addiction, alcoholism, that won't be a cure. Now, he's not cured, that'll be something he's going to have to deal with and fight and manage probably his entire life now. But he's taken the steps to do it, and he is a lovely lad. My dealings with him when he came to the club, and I spoke to him on several occasions, on and off air, a genuinely lovely lad. That reputation of him being a bit of a wrong-un was unfortunately, seemingly, sort of led by something else. A good guy, but essentially on the pitch he was a nightmare. We always called him, we said he was an irritant to the opposition. You want to see that play, you don't want to see it today, and hopefully it's not against City, but you hope he can kind of get back to that it answers a lot of questions about what was going on in his life.
Fans presume that the clattering by Angus Gunn last year was one of the reasons.
It was one part of it, but it wasn't. Yes, exactly.
One thing that came out of that interview as well, Swanee, was to a certain extent how well looked after he was by Neil Senior. He talked about the fact that he looked after him with the trainer at Hull City. I think that probably obviously stemmed from their days together at Brighton. And by the looks of it, perhaps there's a question about how young footballers are handled by football clubs if they get a shot at the big time. Is it an individual thing? Do some people look after players better than other people?
Yeah. Well, I say nobody likes to drink more than myself when I played, but it wasn't an addiction. I just used to like a drink and go out when I could, and probably have more than one I should.
And it was a dumb thing then, wasn't it?
It was a dumb thing then, yeah. But when you look at it now, it's people say about footballers and high-profile singers and entertainers, how lucky they are. And you've got to look. You don't really get the opportunity to look into the world of football. Like we've just seen the death of, like say, a superstar from One Direction. And I listened to an interview that he did probably a few weeks or months back when he first started out. They used to go on tour and used to go out, do the dancing, do the singing, get all the plaudits, then get back, put into the hotel room, shut the door, we'll see you tomorrow, we'll do the same thing again. So they never could go and do their own thing. So when I'm sitting in that room, which you get a lot of footballers when they transfer clubs, that's how I can relate it to. You do your training, go back to your hotel room until you get announced. And what's the first thing you see in your hotel room is a minibar. And it's easy to say not to do it, but when you've nothing else, and if you have got an addiction sort of problem, you have a drink, then you have another drink, and it's like, before you know it, you're in an Alan Collins sort of situation.
We wish him well, and there's more from that interview at half-time here on BBC Radio Humberside, and just that one side, the human side of football, as Swanee was saying, and also brought to a head on Friday when Blackpool announced the very sad news that one of the grandchildren of Steve Bruce has sadly passed away. 4-month-old Madison, the son of his daughter, and the former striker Matt Smith, and of course the nephew of Alex Bruce, and of course everybody connected with BBC Radio Humberside and the BBC in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire sends their condolences to Steve Bruce and his family at what was an incredibly tragic time. BBC Radio Humberside Sport Live from the Imperial Stadium now as he awaits his full debut. He had to wait a little bit longer for this moment this afternoon. I'm talking about Charlie Hughes. That was delayed because of an emergency appendix surgery, which is one of the more difficult reasons to handle. That's what he had to go through, Charlie Hughes, but he got his chance during that heavy defeat against Norwich as a second-half substitute. We'll hear about the operation and the process that saw him move from Wigan to the Tigers ahead of Wednesday's home game with Burnley. But he's been talking to us about the game at Carrow Road a couple of weeks ago and the unfortunate moment that led to the Canaries' third goal.
We knew going there it'd be a tough game and a tough battle. I think the team dug deep from minute 1 to the last minute of the game. And I think it was obviously a tough game and the result says that, but I think the lads done everything they could to try and change the team, change the result. But I think we knew that the opponents were very good and they're a strong side, but I don't think the lads' performance said anything about the result. I think we were good.
As far as you look at the third goal from a person, when you jumped some nice touches, I mean, come on, is that third goal a moment to forget for you?
No, I wouldn't say it's a moment to forget. I think it's a moment for me to learn. And I think, looking back with the manager and with the team, we all know that. And I think that's a mistake that I can hold my hands up to. And I think that's a learning curve for me. So I'll watch that back and analyse it and look what I can do better, as you would do with anything. So I know it's a learning curve more than a moment to forget. Because hopefully that's how you learn to get better.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to hold those moments there. I mean, what's the biggest thing you take from it then when you look back at it?
Just decision making. Just make the right decisions, especially against a team like that when you're 2-0 down. Because there was chances where we could have changed the game around. I mean, that's football for you. I could have scored down the other end. 5 minutes later, it's in the back of my own net. So it's tough to take, but it's a learning curve.
It's interesting you say decision making. It's something Tim talks about a lot as well. Like you said, particularly against a side like that, but playing the way he wants you to play, is that even more critical that decision making is right on point?
Yeah, definitely. I think the way the gaffer wants us to play, it's obviously we've got to have that trust and belief in ourselves to play that way. But yeah, mistakes will happen, and they do happen in training. But the gaffer doesn't mind that. He wants us to try new things and try and play his style. And he doesn't mind us making mistakes, playing his way, as long as we react in a positive way. So I think it's just getting that style of play right, and then putting it into games and getting the results that we want.
It came off the back of 3 wins, of course, and then you go into the international break. Was that break timed well, or did everyone kind of want to get back at it and put the Norwich game right?
Yeah, I think obviously you had the 3-game week, and that was obviously tough for the lads. We got obviously another one coming, and I think it was a good timing for the break after the defeat, especially because we've gone away and we've analysed things, we've learned from it, and we've had a good week in Turkey training, working on a lot of things, working on and off the pitch. We had some good time on the pitch, working on a lot of things to progress, and then we had some off the field time with the lads, just kind of team bonding, which brought the lads together, especially the new signings, obviously myself, and it kind of brought us closer as a group. So it was a good bonding time.
And the fixture schedule says welcome back from the international break. How about top of the table side first up? How do you greet that challenge?
Yeah, it's obviously they started well. We know that will be a tough fight, a tough battle, but I think we're ready for the fight, and we've been working for the last couple of weeks. We've been working how to go and compete against the top team, so I think we're more than ready. But no, it'll be a tough game, and I think the lads are ready for it.
And they're the top scorers out in the division. How do you approach that as a defender?
Just trying to get the ball off the back of the net.
That's the easy answer, yeah.
No, I think obviously we have tactics and formations and how we press and stuff, but obviously that's down to the manager and what we decide to do on the day. But I think we train for these situations, and I think the back four and the goalkeeper will have our own methods on how to defend and try and stop the shots and stop the crosses, blocks. So it comes different with every game, but no, I think we'll be ready to go.
Do you drive on a test like that?
Yeah, I do like playing the top teams because it's a test individually as much as a team. I think it puts the belief in yourself to go and play against the top teams and see where you're at individually, but more importantly it's about the team and where we're planning on going. So I think it'll be a good test.
Charlie Hughes, what was your assessment of what you saw from him against Norwich? Obviously probably not the best backdrop really this morning.
Forget about that. It's nice listening to what he said about the mistake. Yeah, 100% he's going to learn from it. But there's 100% the player in there. Like I class him as an old school centre half. He's solid. He's going to start bullying. Bullying's not a nice word to hear. It's some stuff out of the world and people in life, I should say. But in football, I like to see the centre half bullying the centre forwards, and I think he's got that capability of doing that. So going forward, I think you've got a right player in there. He will read the game. Well, they can see he reads the game good. Just like his decision making, which that's what the manager's trying to get into all the players.
You'll hear more from Swanee alongside Mike White. Surely the flag bearers are out. They're just putting up the Sky Bet Championship sign, which will form part of the pre-match presentations as we head closer to kick-off in 9 minutes' time. Of course, that interview, by the way, recorded prior to yesterday's results, which has seen Sunderland drop to second place from top spot. Burnley, who come here on Wednesday night, now occupy top space in the Championship. But if Sunderland win today, we hope that's not the case, Sunderland would go back to the top of the Championship table. So we kick off in 9 minutes' time. Let's get the final word before kick-off to the Hull City head coach Tim Walter, who's been talking about the appointment of his fellow German Thomas Tuchel as the new England manager. But ahead of facing Sunderland, he says no game should hold any fear if it's approached in the right way.
We try to improve in every game, doesn't matter against whom. We want to win every game, doesn't matter against whom. So we can show it again that we may be a bit further than before. So and that's what we want to show, that we know about the strengths, but we don't have to lay back because we have also our strengths, and that's what we have to show. And we have to work even harder in this game. We have to run even more. and we try to push our fans to be our 12th man on the pitch. So that's what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to do all the time. So we win the last game at home, and so we tried the second win in a row at home, and try to create maybe a fortress out of our stadium. It's then more a Hout fortress, and that's what we're trying to do.
How much do you need to eliminate the amount of opportunities or the amount of shots opposition sides are getting against you right now?
If we get more the ball, they don't have the opportunity to play that. So it's about us. If we, like I mentioned, if we have more possession, if we regain the ball a bit earlier, if we try to be better in the rest field defending, so then it's even harder for them to get the ball. So yeah, but everybody has the quality. We have also the quality in our squad, and if you leave them play, they can show the quality. If you don't leave them, so then that's the point. We have to do it together. It's not a one-man show, so we have to do it all together. We have to defend together, and we have to attack together, and we have to be very, very compact, and don't let them play like they want them to play. But it's about us, and like I mentioned before, if we have the ball, they can't get the ball, and they can't have the ball. So that's our target.
Thomas Tuchel has been appointed as the new England coach. There's been a lot of talk about it, lots of different reactions. First of all, what's your thoughts on him going in as the new England boss?
He's a top trainer, top player. He's one of the best trainers in the whole world. He's one of the best coaches. So, and for me, fortunately, he's German. So, but he won the Champions League. He won the Premier League. He won the Team World Cup. So he's very successful. So hopefully he will bring the success to England again. This was in the past, to be honest. So you can't take another coach from another country. So it was in the past. So now everywhere in the world there are different gophers, and they're all good. They all have an own philosophy, and they try to bring it to the country and to the teams they're coaching. So for me, it's normal at the moment. So the other one is looking backwards, and I never look back.
Will he succeed with England?
100%, because he's successful, and he showed it that he could be successful because he was it in the past.
That's Tim Walter talking about the appointment of Thomas Tuchel as the new England manager. A really wonderful moment here at the MKM Stadium ahead of kick-off, as somebody with connections to both of today's teams. Rach Carter, who played over 240 games for Sunderland and finished his playing career before becoming manager of the Tigers, playing over 130 times for the Tigers. He's been presented with a posthumous entry into the club's Hall of Fame, and Rach Carter's son, who's also called Rach and lives locally, I know he's a good friend of mine, is just being presented with a shirt alongside Nick Barmby as well. A really nice touch, and if you're here today, you may have already seen the matchday programme, which is dedicated to Rach Carter as well, who sadly passed away in Willoughby in 1994. All game in the Premier League already underway, half-time. It's Wolves 1, Manchester City 1. Wolves took the lead through Strand Larsen and Gvardiol equalising after 33 minutes. Kick-off on the way next.
Comfy smiles at breakfast.
I think this time of year it really signifies coming together, nestling, sitting down with like friends and family, just all supporting.
You're sort of just planning Christmas.
No! You know, I'm spending too much time with you. I think my icy heart is melting.
You can take a box of mince pies.
Hey! I told that to you in confidence. I love it how you activate.
Comfy smiles at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio Humberside. Every game live. BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
Well, the applause that you can hear right now is the sound of thousands of Hull City and Sunderland fans welcoming the two teams out onto the MKM Stadium pitch. It's time now for your big match commentary this Sunday afternoon. 3 o'clock kick-off It's the Tigers versus Sunderland, watched by Mike White, a former City player, Swanee.
Cheers, Jim, as we'd normally be tucking into our Sunday lunch and feet up in front of other football this afternoon. It's local football for us. The Tigers in action against Sunderland, who went into the weekend top of the table. That position slightly changed with Burnley moving there over the weekend, but they can regain that top spot. Hopefully City can stop them from doing so, and in turn put that the disappointment of the miserable defeat at Norwich a couple of weeks ago behind them, which came off course off the back of 3 straight wins. City was starting to look on the up a little bit. That just brought them back down to earth down at Carrow Road. It's another tough test, maybe even a tougher one this afternoon, as they face the side who have scored 18 goals in their opening 9 in the Championship so far this season. And City, we know, do have a tendency to be a little bit leaky. They've already conceded 13 goals out of their 9, scoring 12. Swanee's alongside me as always. Swanee, good to be back. What are you thinking about this one?
Goals.
He's gone for it again.
We can't not. I'm right every week. Every week we're seeing goals, entertainment, we gain it. We need to see the 3 points on the back of it. Doesn't matter how many goals you see or score or see. We need to see 3 points. That's what we're getting week in, week out. Obviously, looking for them to tighten up at the back. Pleased to see who's getting his start. That's important. And you see things, the managers juggling teams around, don't you? But you very rarely, when you get a settled team, sort of mess about with the back 4 or the back 3, whichever you go with. That's it, to bring using now, he's going to cement his place in there. That's it, he's been waiting long enough yet, he's had his injury problem. But he's in there now, he's going to keep that place and get that partnership built with Jones, with Rami on the left-hand side of him. And like I said, same with Corley and Jones on the other side. So that needs to be worked on. And like I said, in front of him, you seem to swap and change things for setup, for getting different areas where you're looking, where can we exploit certain teams, which is strengths that we've got. Like I say, some might be energy, it just might be technique sometimes. You think we'll need a bit of that in there. So I think we're going to see that change in front of that back 4 a lot this season, which we've seen already. But at the end of the day, it's 3 points we've gone from. This is a great test today against Sunderland.
You mentioned Charlie Hughes, who turned 21 on Wednesday. Former England under-20. Signed from Wigan and makes his full debut as we're ready to get started here at the MKM Stadium on this Sunday afternoon. A busy week for the Tigers off the back of that international break. They'll play today. We're back here on Wednesday night for the game against Burnley, and then a trip to Derby next Saturday. I'll let you just take that in. As the Tigers fans, one last burst of the song before we get underway here, as a crowd of 20,000 plus again, which actually takes the MKM Stadium past the 9 million mark as far as total aggregate attendance at the stadium since it was opened in competitive games.
Good research.
Thanks, Ryan. Cheers to that. I'll give credit to Tiger Base and Matt, the hard work done there for that one. Can't claim the credit, but I will pass the information on. Always a site worth checking out for all the facts and stats about City players and records and everything else. We are underway here at the MKM Stadium as Jones will wait back to Panda, who's the pink Panda again in that bright highlighter pen pink kit. Sunderland will get it in a sort of grey-blue away kit. And here comes City forward and just laid in there to Gustavo Puerta, but he stumbles and the ball gets away. It's almost a little bit like the old Manchester United away kit, that sort of grey-blue one in the 90s.
I like
the 80s.
Don't like it. It's got a bit of silver tint to it on it as well.
It has, yeah. I'm not sure why Sunderland couldn't play red and white today against the black and amber of the Tigers, but anyway.
Same more shirts, Mike. Marketing.
Maybe so. Is Patrick Roberts on the Leeds man on this right-hand side. Ball's worked in field and then just laid back behind to Trey Hugh, the right back. He'll hook one away towards that far left-hand side towards Dennis Serkin, who does well to control it, then lays it off to Remain Mundle, who'll push towards the goal line, tries to drive a cross in. That one will hit the feet of Louis Coyle and out for an early corner for Sunderland.
Yeah, good opportunity only from there to get around the back with good defending. You've got to get that block on with 2 defenders out there, which is important, but now it's important. I still don't like the way we defend, I said it before, at corners, like saying zonal, you've got 4 players here on the outside moving in now for Sunderland. They're on the run. You're going to struggle to compete with them.
Yeah, they're just holding their space, City, at the moment, aren't they? As you said, with that zone mark. The corners from the left-hand side. It's a curling out swinger headed in towards the penalty spot. The referee has spotted the linesman's flag on this near side in the southwest corner. Is up, and it will be offside against, or the ball went out, I should say, on that curling corner. It's always the problem, isn't it, when you've got a left footer on that side and they're trying to curl it outwards.
Yeah. But like I said, the first heading of the ball, Sunderland got to the first heading of the ball, didn't they?
It did, as Hughes will give it to Drame, who, not the only one, had a bit of a tough time of it, didn't he, down at Norwich. Tim Volter,
He did that first half.
yeah.
But fair play, give him another opportunity.
He has. Ryan Giles replaced him. We heard from Ryan Giles. He spoke to us. I had a chat with him after the game. He was very honest. He was frustrated at dropping out the side. Accepts he's not the finished article. He also admitted the story that many people thought was a made-up media story, that Middlesbrough were interested in him, and said, yeah, there was interest, there was talk, but he's fully focused on proving himself for the investment that City have made in him. As Sunderland come forward, he's played up towards Mundle. He just turns away from Coyle, then sends it back to halfway to Luke O'Nien, across to Chris Mepham, who's on loan from Bournemouth. That was going to be played forward by Roberts for Isidore to chase after, but it's just going to run away from him. And on 3 minutes, that's going to go out for a Hull City goal kick, and I can give you the 2 teams. It's 4 changes from that Norwich game for the Tigers. Hughes, Simons, Puerta on his debut, and Kamara coming into the side. So they line up with Panda in goal. He's about to take this goal kick short. Coyle, Jones, Hughes, who nearly gets caught in possession there. He wasn't played the best of balls by Alfie Jones. Drame makes up the back 4. Simons will sit with the rest of the midfield 4. Balumi, Milan, Puerta and Kamara, and then Bedja will lead the line. As Hughes will play this out from his own penalty area. He'll then step up into space as it's played by Coyle, floated up towards Puerta. It's won by Dan Neal. City will try and get it back and they'll win themselves a throw in with it. They've got an unchanged side from the one that drew with Leeds on the Friday before City played that Norwich game prior to the international break. Patterson in goal, Hume, Mepham, O'Nien and Cirkin the back 4. Neal and Bellingham, that's Joe Bellingham, the 2 deep City midfielders. Roberts, Rigg and Mundle, and Isidore is the lone striker. As Drame in bright pink boots gives it to Kamara, more subtle in traditional black boots down there. Kamara with number 44 on his back as Panda works it across through his area to Jones. He'll dink it down that right side. It's headed back by Sunderland. Cole's there to clear it away. Then Bellingham will get it. Not the best of passes for him, but he's helped out by Rigg, who'll just give it back to Cirkin. Now Bellingham, who just drifts away towards that left side, inside the City half, in front of the East Stand. Sunderland just happy to bide the time, wait for that opening, look for that opportunity to try and split this Tigers defence. And if they've done the research, they will see that they will be given those moments.
True.
There's nothing to suggest they won't have done the research. Regis Labrise looks on down in the Sunderland technical area. Ball is swung, floated to this near right side, and it's going to be Roberts who tries to take on Drame. Drame gives that one away. Puerta needs to be careful not to commit a foul there. Certainly in the area, he's forced Hume all the way to the sideline, and then Drame can send it away for Bedja, but the Sunderland player just steps in front of him there, and it's Mepham who can take the throw in. 0-0, 5.5 minutes gone. You're listening to BBC Radio Homicide Sport, and Peter Swan's alongside. Sport, Swanee, Peter Swan. Is my team? Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Drame picks himself up from that performance at Norwich, especially that first half. Which ended up getting brought off, but like I said, already he took the ball away twice in decent areas.
And he's got some defending to do here now as Riggs steps inside him, then gets away from Kamara. The ball will run to Neal with a bit of fortune about it. Step forward towards Bellingham, and maybe a chance for Cirkin to drift into the area towards the goal line. Blocked by Coyle and cleared away by Balumi. He'll come back in towards the City penalty area though, then Puerta can side-foot it to Milan, who was looking for an option. He's got a couple of players around him. It's taken from him. Balumi's there. Nice little drag back away from the Sunderland man. But Bellingham has managed to keep possession, and then he gives it away, and City can try and break. They've got numbers. Puerta, ball into Kamara on the diagonal, left-hand side, steps inside Hume. Still Kamara going, edge of the area, now into the box, they try and drive one, it's blocked, comes out to Puerta, driving shot by Balumi and blocked by Sunderland and away. 0-0, but that was an opportunity for City to try and cause some problems. He didn't test the keeper in the end. The Hughes comes across to do well there to step in front of Isidore at halfway. Hughes is the shout from the City fans.
Nice to get that little feel as a player, that'll give him a massive lift. It was a great little cheer, the tackle there, and he just like stepped in at the right time.
And that's nice from Drama, who sends in Kamara into the edge of the area. He goes down under a challenge. Good challenge, I think, right from the referee not to give a foul there against Sunderland. 7 minutes gone, 0-0, Swanee.
Yeah, he saw it coming, didn't he? Kamara saw it coming. He jumped higher than the tackle, I think, didn't he? To get over it.
Yeah.
Right decision by the ref.
Kamara's had a couple of possessions deep in Sunderland territory as the Tigers try and get it back there with Balumi. That one's just going to run away and out for a goal kick. Let me give you the two benches there. The Tigers have got Anthony Richopi on the bench, the sub-keeper. That's because Carl Rushworth limped out the training on Friday with an ankle injury. He had a boot as the ball sent forward. I'll come back to that in a second. Jones is going to come across the cover. His covering header just sent that one out for a Sunderland corner. 8 minutes gone. So Richopi in for Rushworth, and there are some suggestions, not a confirmation yet, that Rushworth could be out for a couple of months at least. Giles, McLaughlin, Miller, Pedro, Zambrano, Slater, Palmer and Burstow are the City subs. Sunderland have got more the sub-keeper. Brown, Rusin, Alchichi, Connolly, Alexic, Hielde, Watson and Johnson. And the referee is former Premier League official Robert Madley. Corner for Sunderland now on this near right side. Be a left-footed, probably in-swinger based on the last delivery we saw, and it's curled in towards the 6-yard box, dropping down. Tigers need to get that one away, and they do with Coyle. Balloon is there, and it might fall to Malin. Malin stabs it into Puerta. He's got room to run forward. Balloon keeps himself onside. Ball to the left-hand side of the area. Tries to drive across in. Defender doesn't get there. Balloon floats it towards the back. That one's headed away. Cleared by Bellingham. It hasn't been cleared fully yet. Kamara lays it off for Simon. Simons loses out, and then it's volleyed away where Hughes will hook it back towards the penalty area, towards goal, and the keeper Patterson will allow it to just drop into his hands. That could have gone anywhere there. 9 minutes gone, 0-0.
Yeah, proper defending by Hughes though when the ball did get clear. He's got his back to all the play, and he's like, don't know how close the striker is, and it just overhead kick, put it back in there. The fans give it the huge behind it, but like saying, he realised there could have been a bit of danger there, and they made the right decision.
Drama needs some help. He's got the 2-on-1 as Roberts right-hand side slips it back inside to Rig into Roberts, then laid off to Hume. Back out to Rig on this right side, inside to Trey Hume again. They're just playing the ball between them at the moment, and then it's slipped back in. City need to deal with it. Oh, it's blocked, and it is blocked by Hughes. He's done well there. That was great work from Hume and Rig. They were just playing it between themselves, and Hume had made the run. Nobody picked him up.
That was a great pass. He played it through his legs. He saw the gap there. He got the nutmegs on him. Like I say, Hughes saw the danger. The strike right behind the strike. We pulled it. We were going wide anyway, but Hughes got across and got the block on it.
Because it would be more about anyone coming in behind Hughes, wouldn't it? And he didn't mess around with it.
I said the first 10 minutes Sunderland were decent.
Yeah,
they settled, composed on the possession team. We've not really had the ball. We're not playing the counter attack at the moment.
Yeah, City played in very narrow, aren't they? As well as Roberts is going to slip that ball into an angled run.
Twice they tried to do that ball, the diagonal one in there, the 20-yard passing behind the back of Hughes. Twice the lad's just been at full stretch. It's been knocked in at pace. It's got to knock it at that pace, otherwise it'll get intercepted. So it's just the timing of the run of the Sunderland player. Could get on the end of that. Could keep an eye on that one. Not us, but they need to.
Yeah. Is it a considered effort from City at the moment? The drama seems to be playing very narrow and almost allowing Roberts that space. Yeah. There's Sunderland again are going to try and come forward. It's dragged back, laid inside to Reek. Now with that left side, Serki's going to try and drive across it, blocked by Coyle, and goes out for a Sunderland throw-in. They've had a lot of possession in these opening 11 minutes here at the MKM Stadium.
Backs against the ropes at the moment. Traffic one way.
Hopefully there isn't a knockout punch coming like the one that struck Fraser Clark and broke his jaw last week. Wow, it was some shot. As Roberts just pirouettes away from Kamara, then turns back in field. Diminutive figure, Patrick Roberts, number 10 on his back. Fulham youngster, Man City as well. Number of clubs on loan. Coyle's done really well there to take that one away from Mongol. Plays it up towards Becky. Does well to control that one. He's got some support in Coyle. He's back there for him. He'll try and send that down that right side. It took a touch off a Sunderland player.
Back to Coyle there where Mongol had done a trick, got the ball again, push it through his legs, and he was a favourite to get to the other side. Coyle just stepped across him. Great defending. The only thing, like I said, the player can do then is run in the back of him and get a free kick, which we see on numerous times. Coyle's good at that. But like I said, that was perfect timing there, actually, just outside the box and allowed it being away.
Hughes just sent it back to Pando, who I've seen a stat, he's made 34 saves so far in his 9 games that he's played.
He's been excellent
this season.
Especially when we were questioning before we started.
It's Balloon just plays it inside, bandage on his right wrist, back to Panda again. And then just there's a simple one to Jones. He's just had to gesture to Charlie Hughes where he wanted him there. He did it a little bit forcefully with his hand as he showed Charlie Hughes where he wanted him. He's going to send one away. Hands left-footed, ball down that channel, just slightly too far ahead of Kamara. It's a nice idea how he found him, and Sunderland are going to try and break in Hughes as fouled his man. He just stepped across Chris Rigg there, didn't he?
That's quick play by Sunderland there. Played into the left, let the ball run, he did another twist. Hughes saw it, got his arm across him, tried delaying it and getting away with it. Some referees wouldn't have seen that. This referee did. It was a free kick to Sunderland 10 yards inside our half.
Referee Bobby Madley of Wakefield.
Could have covered him, saved some petrol.
Nearly said he could have given him a lift. He's been a senior ref since 2009, Premier League between 2013 to 18. Sunderland, as we've said a lot in this opening 14 minutes, in possession. Mundle trying to get around the outside of Coyle and succeeds. Coyle does well though, and Mundle helped by a little bit of a mistake, and then Bellingham won't get the chance to get a shot off because Mundle's fouled Coyle, and that will be a free kick.
It'll be great that on that side here, because you see where Mundle's got pace and trickery. On that occasion, you get the other side of Coyle, but then Coyle managed to recover just in time with the help of Hughes coming across to slow down.
We're in the period where City so far this season has scored the most goals in the Championship. They've scored 25% of their 12 between. Come back to that, sorry. Must have just concede the most, sorry, I should say, not score, concede the most between 11 and 20 minutes. 31% of them, of the 13 so far. So hopefully they can stay tight during this period and just try and get a bit more of a foothold in the game. Need to change the glasses for me, I just had him. Here's Kamara. He's got some support down the left side in Simons. Goes in central instead to Puerta. Simons holding the ball off. Gives it to Kamara, maybe with a little bit of help from a Sunderland foot. He's back to Drame. Inside to Drame again. Kamara's tight on this West End touchline. In the shade, there's only a bit of sun that's covering the East End fans over on that far side. As the low autumn sun starts to drop down on this Sunday afternoon kickoff. 15 and a half minutes tops. Ball played forward by Balumi. That's away from everyone and goes out for a goal kick. That was sloppy swan.
Yeah, over the pass, what was trying to squeeze into a perfect pass with some backspin on it. Thinking the backspin, the ball rolled out for a goal kick, nice and easy for someone to tie it up.
They've been a tricky opponent for the Tigers over the years. Just one win in 11 league games since 2014. That win coming back in January when Fabio Carvalho scored on 71 minutes up at the Stadium of Light. Very barren since then. And before that, here's Mundle away on that left-hand side, midway inside the Tigers' half, just a thoughtful run as he just checks back inside. Now infield to Neil. Works it away from Nayland. Still there, going into the area. Might fall to circuit. Might drop to Isidore, and he gets the left-footed shot away, but Panda's equal to it as it comes straight into him. And it's all City 0 Sunderland now.
Yeah, good game. I'd say intriguing game, how it's working out, how it's setting itself up. Both teams like trying to get forward, Sunderland are in control, I'd say, at the moment. So we're struggling to find a way through. My interesting thing, which I said last time, was keeping an eye on the midfield players. We haven't really spoke about Simons yet. Mayland, we haven't even mentioned them yet. 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah. It's Simons in there to help with the challenge. He goes out for a City throw on this near left-hand side. A legend of Hull City, a former Sunderland man as well, born up in Sunderland, Rage Carter, inducted before the game officially, posthumously into the club's Hall of Fame. His son Rage Jr. introduced to the crowd. Of course, the Rage Carter Trophy being played for the fourth time since its inception, which of course was the initial game, not a competitive game as such that day when the stadium, or that night when the stadium opened. Steve Melton goal giving City the 1-0 win and the trophy that day. He played for a couple of times, a draw and a Sunderland win since then as the Tigers get themselves a throw-in. And on the subject of City legends, you can hear some more from 5:30 today. We'll get the post-match reaction to you. Hopefully we'll manage to get Tim Bolter before that, but at 5:30 we've got a variation, a slightly shorter variation of the 120th anniversary special that we brought you a couple of weeks ago, with some interview content that you won't have heard yet on BBC Radio Homicide, including former Tigers favourite Justin Whipple, Brian Marwood and Brian Horton among the people you can hear from. That's from 5:30 until 6 o'clock tonight, but we'll, as I said, aim to get you that live post-match reaction first. James will be with you. Swanee will be here for a little while as well to get some of your thoughts. And then for our fans panel guests on what they make of this afternoon's action, where it's currently goalless here at the MKM Stadium. Hopefully goals to come, as
In the right end net.
prophesied by the man alongside me in the right net as well would be nice. Crossfield ball towards Roberts, who slides it into the area to Grigg. Good work from Hughes. Nice solid centre half work to win that back. He plays it down the line for Kamara, who just has a little drag at Hughes, says the referee. Tim Bolter was yards away from it. He disagrees. He might do anyway, but he's not happy with that decision going against him.
It was a free kick. It was a free kick.
Yeah, Hume got right in front of him, didn't he? Just made it difficult for Kamara to do anything but. Sunderland have it back again in that sort of silvery, bluey grey. We're going through the colour range, we're trying to describe that one, but City have just given a free kick away, a stray foot in as
Simons, I think, just left his foot in on it.
yeah, just leaves the Sunderland man down on the ground. Free kick almost midway inside that City half, slightly left of centre. City haven't managed, I mentioned that win in January against Sunderland, which was the last time these two sides played. City haven't had consecutive league wins over Sunderland since 2014, so they'll look to try and rectify that this afternoon as the referee just steps away from where that free kick's going to be taken. Mongol's there. I think Roberts has gone over to it as well. Mongol joined the club back in February and moved from Standard Liège as a Spurs youngster. Roberts is going to curl this free kick in, dangerous one, headed down, maybe a chance for Sunderland, 12 yards out, trying to shape up for a shot, but O'Neill couldn't get it away. Now City can bring it out of their own penalty areas. It's played forward, that's a wasteful one, comes back to Jones, given behind to Pandor. The idea was nice, but the execution wasn't quite there. But now City might have a bit of space to open up down this left side as Hughes sets Drame free, gives it to Kamara left side. Goes for an early cross in towards Bedia. Headed away. Knocked forward by Roberts. Comes back into the Sunderland box, and then Hume will send that downfield. Jones is underneath it. Heads it to Simon. Side foots it to Hughes. Applause from the fans at the movement to see City get themselves back in possession. Now Hughes again. 21 years of age now. Celebrated his birthday during the week, as I mentioned. He's finally getting his start. He came off the bench at Norwich, having had that appendix surgery before the Sheffield United game. The City have given it away, or rather it's been taken from them, and they've got some space down this right side. Hughes has to come across the cover. The attempted cross by Hughes is touched by Hughes, and that allows it to roll into the grateful hands of Panda as City try and get away quickly. Malin sends it for Balloumi. The defenders made a bit of a meal of it. He's managed to cover it as Sirkin though.
He did well at end, didn't he?
Yeah.
If he was at Sirkin, yeah.
Yeah, if he'd not been able to recover, Balloumi
Nice feet of shot from him there, been through, wouldn't
He
he?
would.
Here we go again down that
Saw a couple here last time. He'd come at the other end now as a cross comes shot there is blocked by Jones, and out for another Sunderland corner kick. 22 minutes gone, and they're having a lot of possession, Swan.
Yeah, third corner for Sunderland, let's say the first 20 odd minutes. I said they look more comfortable, don't they? They're passing and moving way more reactive when we get the ball. That's it. Defensively, we're just trying to spring on them, aren't we?
At the moment, City been equal to it, but
look at now the big lad there at the back, Nepo.
Yeah.
6'3", 6'4", no beyond, he can run where he wants.
And he drifts away, and it's going to be Nepo.
Wins the header.
Yeah, heads it down to Mondle. And it's going to be laid off, and they're Sirkin with a shot, and he's blocked, and out for another corner. That's 4 already for Sunderland.
Yeah, but I just said to them, watching again, there's nobody picking them up. There's nobody in.
You saw it before it was delivered.
They'll do the same thing again, because they're in the zones there. If they overhit it, he's going to win the first header all time anyway.
Yeah.
If it's from above him, he'll come in and win it as well.
And the problem is, you might say, oh well, at the moment he's in a safe space, and if he knocks the header down, but it's that second ball that's often the problem, Swan, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, that's what they're working on.
Roberts is going to take this corner from the right side, left foot. He drives this one into the 6-yard box. Hughes is there to meet it, heads that one away. Been impressive so far, Swanee.
Yeah, really right. If you're going to play against, like I'm now, if I'm the Sunderland coach, I'm thinking, why are they whipping the balls in there? You need to hang them balls up. Hang them up, it gives the players better chance to get the run on them. If you're whipping it in there, the smallest of players who's a near post is going to win that, and that's exactly what we've just done. So they've not done their own homework on that side of it.
But here comes Sunderland in possession again when Mondle tries to step inside. Coyle gets a foot in. Then Neal, across to this right side to Hume, plays it further right to Roberts, who can drive in towards the edge of the area, just a bit more thoughtful about his delivery, steps back inside and has Rigg in support on the outside. Rigg tries to cross, deflected by Drame, and Puerta's there to try and play it away, and he does up towards Bedia. Balloumi's in space, but instead he's fed Kamara, and it's a 2-on-1. If he can get it across, Kamara, left side of the area, plays an early ball into Bedia, and it's behind Bedia, doesn't reach Balloumi, and that is a big wasted opportunity for the Tigers, who needed to be more clinical and weren't, and it remains Hull City 0, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, Kamara's got to deal with that quickly. I think the first time ball was on early. I'm trying to see who on the far side was
Balloumi on the far side, Bedia couldn't quite get it, he'd overrun it almost, didn't he?
I thought he played it in front of Bedia there, not behind him. I thought he'd put a yard in front of him there at pace. But that was an opportunity. Again, the manager said at the start, it's about making the right decisions at the right time.
We have got the benefit of sort of seeing the action. We're about a minute behind on it, so we'll have a look in a minute. But
so if we start slowing down,
yeah,
we know what we're doing.
Yeah. To be honest, it's probably the best way for us anyway. So you can just see Kamara's got the space. Bedji's running through the middle of Sunderland trying to get back. You're right, sorry, he did play in front of him. Yeah, I thought he'd overrun it, but he's just ahead of him, wasn't it? Could Bedji have done more? Did he seem to sort of hold up, or was it the ball?
At that pace when he's coming, he expected to be right in front of him, then he can have a side foot shot on goal.
Oh, Drame's left one in there with a late challenge deep in Sunderland's right back position in that northwest corner. It's the attendance of 23,072 is shown to us in the press box. As I said, just a reminder, that takes City for competitive games over the 9 million mark since the stadium opened in 2002.
If they're all after power, the time will come.
Just imagine, mind you, the update to come in is Rigg away to this right side, angle of the penalty area. Roberts steps in on his left foot. He's watched, still Roberts still. He's got some support with Sirkin away over on that far left side. Drags it back behind instead to Neil, and then given away by Roberts, and maybe Simons can try and set Balumi free. Dinks one over. Balumi nearly gets around the outside of the defender, but that is great work from Mepham, who comes across, just hooks his leg round and denies
Balumi. Yeah, Balumi, you can see as he was making that run there, he's got the pace in him. He needs to get a bigger touch, 15-20 yard touch in front of him.
Here comes Sunderland again at the other side. He's digged forward on the diagonal to Roberts inside the area. Drives one in, hits the foot of Pandu. He does well to stretch out. Comes back in by Hume. There's a header and it's wide. City goal kick. But living on the edge a little bit. 27 minutes gone. Sunderland having way too much possession and way too much ball inside City penalty area. 0-0.
Yeah, and you said that hit the foot of Pandor. It didn't hit the foot of Pandor. That was a great save by Pandor. Yeah, he moved his foot towards it. I know you were saying in commentary, but it was a great save. It was another shot on target, which you mentioned earlier. How many shots? 23 shots was it? Been on target against us?
Yeah.
Too many. Too many.
Away from City in the other end as Bedia has come well to play Balumi. Bedia makes the run. Balumi into Bedia, who goes down, but Bedia's going to be penalised. He's dragged on the shoulder, I think, of Mepham there, just as he was trying to get round. Again, we talk about decision making. Tim Foltz has been talking about decision making at both ends of the field. Boos from the City fans. Are they right to boo, Swanee?
No, not at all. It was like the decision was made for him there. The pass wasn't big enough for Bedia to get around the other side. He saw him challenging him. It'd have to be the absolute inch perfect to get the other side of the defender. Defender did nothing wrong there. No, but again, when we're going forward, we look bright. Like I said, when we're springing on, we're coming very direct and getting ourselves in good positions. Going back to what the manager said, right decisions going to cost you games or it's going to win you games.
Sunderland very quick to get it in City's half when they get possession, though, aren't they? And here they come again with 09. Forward to Bellingham. Out to Mundle. Coyle in front. Slips it to Bellingham once more. Back to Mundle again. Looking to open it up on his right foot. 09 back to Mundle. He's got a bit of space to try and drive into. Bellingham in support on that outside. Now back to Neil, who's come through the youth system here, the 22-year-old. So here at Sunderland, as City have got it back with Werter. Now Bedia can drive forward with it, but his extra touch just took it into the path of Mepham, who came across to cover him. There's some shouts from the City fans, I think, just for a bit more urgency and try and get in the faces of Sunderland, because they're sitting off them, aren't they, and inviting them to go into their half, and that crossfield ball is played to Roberts, who's near the goal line. Again, a chance in and around the City penalty area. Steps inside Roberts, watched by Drame, behind to Rick, near the angle of the area. Sweeps it across the face of the box, about 10 yards out from it to Mundle. Now it's with Sirkin, and Sunderland still in possession. Mundle inside to Neil. BBC Radio Humberside Sport on a Sunday afternoon. It's Mike White and Swanee with you. Here's Roberts, slips it into Rick. James Hogarth will be along at half-time. We'll hear more from that interview with Aaron Connolly to the Sunderland Club website, talking about his battles with mental health and alcohol addiction. Here's Roberts. Now Rick again. A lot of link-up between those two, Roberts and Rick.
Good defensive work, the unit's solid.
Yeah, just forcing them away onto that left side. Sunderland having to have a rethink, so nothing too dangerous at the moment, but can't switch off. Mundle gets round the outside of Coyle. Early crossing on the left foot, comes to this right side to Roberts, who's waiting for it. Drame will close him down. Again, just takes his time. Hume works across it. Hughes heads that one away. Balloon is in there to try and help out. Comes out as far as Luke 09. He's been at the club since 2018. Bellingham will float across into the area, and that's an easy one for Panda to collect. 0-0, just over half an hour gone.
Yes, another battle down that left-hand side, Nick Mundle and Coyle. You can see next time, because he knows he's got the pace on him, Coyle. You can see him getting good in the book, so can't you? Yeah. I think he'll clatter him, I'd say.
And here comes Drame, who's stepped up from that left-back position, and he's driven through the midfield and still keeps going. And now City can get numbers forward. Puerto wants an early ball in. Balumi on the right-hand side, in on the left foot, drags the ball back, shows too much to Sirkin. and the move breaks down.
See the noise there, that's the frustration you're getting from the fans. We're getting in good areas and they're not seeing nothing for the awards. That's what the fans are getting frustrated with.
And a ball now forward to Isidore that City had to try and deal with. Hughes just gets across the back of him, tries to hold him up. Good work from Charlie Hughes, and gets away from one challenge, goes down on the second one, and the referee says free kick to City.
I don't think he got him on the second one, to be fair. First one, done exceptionally well, didn't he? Hughes. Great defending, big and strong, like we said. Come out of the defence with it, just overrun it. I think it was Bellingham that come across. Don't think he really caught him. Saw him come in, jumped over it again.
No, but a free kick to City. He managed to get the space. That run from Drame did the job, and that's not a good ball from Simons. Goes way too long, intended for Kamara. Tim Volta turns back to his dugout and looks to the sky and shakes his head as he joins his staff on the benches down there, or the seating. Not benches, it's certainly comfortable seats. And we've had 32.5 minutes of the first half here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport, on FM Digital, Freeview, channel 721 as well. If you're going out and about at full time, you can catch us, if not on your radio, put us on your phone, on your device, and listen on BBC Sounds. Fortunately, due to contractual issues, for those who often ask, we can't put EFL commentaries online, out of our hands, I'm afraid, but from 5 o'clock you'll be able to stay with us, and then from 5:30 that 120th anniversary special for the Tigers. Here's Coyle, plays it back to Pandor, who's going to sweep it to this side, and Drame's done really well to keep that one in. Now he's got to do something with it. He does, he flicks it down the line in towards Puerta. He concedes the throw-in. How's he look for you in the opening half an hour or so, Swanee?
Are we on about now?
Puerta. Gustavo Puerta.
He's had a couple of touches inside their box, which looks lively defensively. You don't want him work, you don't want him in there. He's one of them that could just stick a foot out, you know what I mean, give little penalties here and there. So
yeah.
Got to be careful.
Yeah, he's made some nice runs, hasn't he? But things not quite clicking at the moment. Although Betty has done really well there. He's got round a challenge at halfway. Now City can come forward again. We'll talk about decision making. In towards Balumi, back into Bedia. Bedia onto his left foot instead of taking the shot. Now he's got players around him. Lays it off to Balumi. Again, they want to walk it in, Balumi towards the back, in towards Puerta, who seemed to stop when it was coming into him and left it, and it's gone out for a goal kick. That was a chance for the Tigers, and it remains Hull City 0, Sunderland 0, 34 minutes gone.
You just feel, you can feel the fans, you know exactly like what they're... I don't even think they know they're doing it, because you can, it's like a home, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but they all seem to be doing it, and you know the reason is, they've got in the, we've got ourselves probably in a better position than Sunderland, even though they've looked the better team.
Yeah.
Going forward, it's that decision making that's the manager mentioned there, and the fans are picking up on that now. They're feeling that we're getting there, but why are we getting no rewards for it?
There seems to be hesitance, doesn't there?
Well, Becky is there, he's done everything, he's done brilliant, used his pace, strength, he's got the defender on his left arm, it's on his right side, smash it across the keeper, smash it across the goal with right foot.
Yeah.
He likes to come back in. As soon as he comes back in, he brings 3 defenders into play.
We've seen it a couple of times with him, haven't we?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to want to pull the trigger. His goals have come from a penalty and a tap-in so far, but it's got him off the mark, so that's the good thing. Now you want to see that build the confidence of him and take some of those opportunities, don't you? And it's not happening.
As a striker, every opportunity, the top strikers have chances.
Yeah.
Have a go.
Yeah.
You have a go there, catches someone's toe, flies it bottom corner.
Yeah.
If you don't pull the trigger, you never know, do you?
Or even force the keeper into a save that gets palmed into the path of someone else. Yeah. You see it so many times, and the best teams do it well, don't they? And that's why they're successful. Drame's done well though to intercept a pass, and now he can push forward. He's seemingly got the beating of Hugh, then he has to check his run. Puts himself behind to Kamara.
At that time there, it was 30 yards inside the Sunderland half, and not a whole player was over the halfway line. They got there later, but the break was already on, he'd gone.
Yeah.
He'd set sail with the lad.
He got applauded by Tim Volta, who appreciated the move and realised he maybe didn't have the option available to him. Here comes Coyle, stepping inside, then sends it to Hughes, taps it to Drame. He's looking for his option, and the option is Alfie Jones in those white boots, just controls that white ball at his feet, then taps it off to Coyle, who returns it to his defensive teammate. Now Hughes again, they're just patiently trying to look for an opening to exploit here. Sunderland not providing one. They've got everyone back in their own half, just sitting a little bit deeper at the moment. And that's nice from Coyle to try and thread it through the right channel for Balumi. Slight challenge for Bellingham, puts it out for a Tigers thrown over on that right side. Goalless, 37 minutes gone. And it's taken quickly by Coyle into Balumi, who didn't really deal with it very well and gives the ball away. And that comes off Coyle and out for a Sunderland throw-in. Decision making, Swanee, to add to goals.
I'm not saying goals, because the decision making's not been the best.
Nice. See how it all comes full circle.
Sorry about this.
I'm glad we've been able to be a little bit productive on this Sunday afternoon. So I know you were,
Should have
your
been
day of worship, isn't it?
Should have been in church.
As that one's hooked up in the air by Balumi, but not before it goes out for a Sunderland throw-in. What's Tim Volter thinking at this moment, Swanee?
He's probably frustrated as well. Like I say, the team going forward, they'll be happy defensively because we've kept them at bay. Like I say, he likes to play with possession, which sometimes you get up to a coffee and that team's like, you better than yourself do that, and that's what Sunderland have done. So we've got to work on plan B really, is can we attack them when they're throwing the bodies forward, which I've said numerous times, we look more dangerous sometimes when we're attacking.
Sunderland with space again down that right side. Regan, Roberts linking up just on the edge of the area with Roberts. Now Hume, who can be got at. We've seen that a couple of times down this City left-hand side, haven't we? As Sunderland ball is a wayward one out for a Tigers throw-in. You would look and think that the wide areas are where City can get some of the joy.
Well, I think that's where he wants to play. That's why he's got two wide men playing today, with Kamara and Belushi. That's what they're good at. Young kids still learning the game. Got to get better. You've got to have an end product.
You just added Balumi to the film Belushi family.
Belushi family.
Yeah.
I've done well with
the famous movie family. You've done well to get this far without getting it wrong.
What, 23 years? I can't say I've not got it wrong in 23 years.
Former record signing, contractually I have to say it. Signing Peter Swan as Coyle drives forward and still Coyle, edge of the area, gets his ankle clipped. That, I tell you what, not sure City have still got it. It's Simons across to Kamara. Kamara on his left foot trying to cross, it's blocked. And Sunderland can play that way. Not makes Bobby Madley the referee. And now the visitors can try and break away at the other end with Mondor. I'll come back to Swanee's thoughts on that challenge on Coyle in a second. But here's Mondor, City getting numbers back. Sunderland only have 3 forward at the moment. Then he's joined by a few more. One of them is Bellingham. And then it's turned behind to halfway. And Sunderland have it with Neil. Across to Mepham. We'll get Swanee's thoughts in a second, but you just think Sunderland can try and make something happen quickly here. It's Roberts back inside to Hugh as they take the time. Foul or not on Coyle on the edge of the area.
I thought he just nicked the ball away. I thought he just nicked it off. Craig on the other one just after that could have easily happened as well.
As Hugh down the right side is going to send a crossing. Coyle just chests that one off. Shouts from way over the other end from Sunderland fans for handball. But not given. Have you just seen the...
No, I was looking.
Yeah, we were looking at the potential danger in and around the City penalty area with the minute or so caught up on us on the screen we've got here. And we're into the final 5 minutes of this first half on BBC Radio Homicide at the MKM Stadium. Sunday afternoon football. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. One ball forward, bounces awkwardly for Balumi. Bedia might get there, he does. Might drop to Bedia, hooks that one away, comes to Kamara, inside to Simon. Shoot is the shout. Instead, he plays it to Kamara, back inside to Simons again. Sunderland able to get numbers behind the ball. Now Coyle away to Balumi. And something special to create something from here. It might be down and a cross ball in that's heading clear. Out as far as Jones. Now Coyle thumps it forward and it's fired downfield by Serkin. Comes off Coyle and out for a Sunderland throwing at halfway. We've got 4 minutes of this first half left. Plus any added on time. And still come back. Keep coming back to decision making, Swanee. That's going to be the big frustration right now. Tim Walter talks about it all the time.
And then,
because I think it forms part of his chat.
Decision making, it's then, if it keeps happening, I'm thinking, have they got the quality to do that? I know the young kids are still learning, but still need to get an end product, don't we?
Yeah.
It's all the defensive hard work. So one mistake, you score at the other end, takes the pressure off you.
That was challenging there by Malin to win it back, who's trying to work out. I think he's changed from his sort of violet coloured boots. He puts the challenge in there. That's going to be a throw in to Sunderland. The fans just starting to head down into the concourses for some early half-time refreshments. City's last meeting here with Sunderland was back in Boxing Day last season, where Jack Clark scored late on in the game, and that's a foul given away by the Tigers in the centre circle. A Sunderland free kick which is taken quickly. Under that game, everyone spoke about the danger that Clark had. Don't give him that opportunity, and they allowed him to cut in, and lo and behold, he finished it and gave Sunderland the win. As Betty has done really well there. I don't think Neil was happy that he couldn't get around the referee to begin with. Bedia has got himself in a bit of trouble, manages to keep possession, then loses it. Claims he had no support, but I think he did a bit too much with that. Now Sunderland have possession back in City's territory. And it's worked away to this near right side. 2 minutes to the break. Roberts into the box. Side foot's in, intended for Rick, but gives it away, and Puerta's there to pick that one up, and then he gives the ball away. Bedia was standing, and Bellingham comes to it, shot from range, and it's wide. Just wide, but it was a grass cutter, skimmed along the ground. Panda seemingly had it covered, but that was a danger again, 0-0.
Yeah, decent strike one, it always going wide of the post, either you know it's close when the keeper's at a full stretch. Just seeing it wide of the post, but yeah, it was opportunity. A couple of players there just giving the ball away from both teams, giving them opportunities to get back in it.
Can't afford to keep giving the ball away like that. Who was at fault there? Was it Puerta or was it Bedia?
I'd say Puerta's ball. His decision, Bedia, yeah, he's got to do better, but he's got his back to play, he can't see what's in front of him.
Yeah.
Or behind him, I should say.
Wasn't enough conviction on the pass, was there? Made it easy for the defender to just step in front. We're inside the final minute of the first half, so goalless as things stand. City not been out without their little ventures into the final third of that Sunderland half, but not managed to trouble the keeper yet. As it's laid back to Pando, needs some support. It's got it with Drame. Drame steps inside away from Roberts, just gets his arm pulled. That'll be a free kick to the Tigers. It's taken quickly. Here's Puerta. Puerta inside to Simons. Oh, fans trying to urge him. He was looking for an option behind him there, wasn't he, when he had space in front. And there was seemingly a little bit of hesitancy about Simons. Ball forward for Puerta to try and chase after that. Looks like handball. That certainly was handball. The referee's not giving it. The linesman's not giving anything on that side.
He was seeing it. The ball's come diagonally right over. The lad's running back through the Mepham. So he's running back towards goal. He knows he can't head it, so he's put his arm out. And for me, it looks like he balls at his arm and got through to the keeper.
It certainly looked that way.
Penalty. Is that class as sending off as well? Last month?
Well, it'll certainly be interesting. We'll see in a second. We'll get the thoughts as the half-time whistle has gone here at the break where it's 0-0. City got that free kick. They wanted to try and get on with it quickly, didn't they? With 30 seconds left, there was no stoppage time to be added on. As Puerta played it inside to Simons, you could see there was players had made moves for him, and he just took his time, then gave it to Jones. And about 10 yards from halfway, sent it forward. We'll see it here. Yeah, that's handball. He's put his left arm out inside the area. He's got away with that one. And City are right.
Handball, I'm not sure that was in the air. It might have been outside.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was outside. Right on the edge of the D.
Yeah.
But definite handball, and definitely it was purposeful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
as Puerto was making the run. So City will feel a little bit aggrieved that there wasn't at least a decision made by the referee there. Tim Volter not happy about it. He was having words with the fourth official as well. But a definite handball there from Mepham that's not been picked up. But at the break, it is Hull City 0, Sunderland 0. Give us your thoughts on that one, Swanee.
Yeah, I think Volter will be quite happy if it's going in at 0-0. I think going forward, we've probably looked the better team, got himself in better areas quicker. Keep going on about a certain thing, don't we? But if we get ourselves and keep making them, we need probably to change. That's why he keeps shuffling things around up top of the midfield area to try and find that right blend or someone with the technical ability to make that right pass or make the finish. Because we are creating chances. Defensively, we've been okay, been solid enough, but they are put us under pressure. You can see why they are up there in the top three. But with all the possession they've had, not really hurt us. A couple of half chances where the keeper had to come off with his right foot. But apart from that, I think the manager will be happy and there's something to build on in the second half.
So definitely something to build on. You can understand he wouldn't have been happy with that decision. Clear enough that it would have been classed, do you think it would have been classed as a goal scoring opportunity, last man and all that?
I'm questioning myself now. Definitely handball, definitely outside the box. It's like, could he have got to the other side? Could he have got the touch on it? Possibly, yeah. It would have been a half chance. It's not a clear-cut opportunity.
No.
So I would say no. Probably a booking, but I would say a clear-cut opportunity. They still had to get there, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely a frustrating one though. At the break, it's all square. It's got Hull City against Sunderland 0-0.
Thank you, Mike. So a bit of late in the game, late in the first half, controversy for Hull City fans. You can have your say on that. Will that be a pivotal moment in this game? We'll only know by full time. You can have your say after the game this evening here on BBC Radio Humberside Sports. We're through until 5:30 live here at the MK Stadium, and then from 5:30 our special celebrating 120 years of Hull City with some of the biggest club names in the Tigers' history, the likes of Brian Horton. Also, first chance to hear from Justin Whittle, who we spoke to during the 120 celebrations, but fans who never broadcast before. That's from 5:30, all of it available on BBC Sounds as well. Not too many games around football this afternoon, but there have been one played in the Premier League. We're into added time at Molineux, where it still is Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Manchester City 1. Strand Larsen putting Wolves ahead, and Guardiola equalising for the Premier League champions. Still one apiece. The game between Liverpool and Chelsea kicks off at 4:30, and there are games in the Women's Super League this evening, this afternoon. One that's finished: Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 1, 1-1 Liverpool Crystal Palace. Leicester City 1, Everton 0, West Ham and Arsenal has finished goalless. And you can see all of those games on the football later on this evening. Match of the day on BBC One, and the BBC iPlayer is this evening after the BBC News and Look North actually after 10:30. Then the Women's Football Show is at 11:35. Both of those programmes on the BBC iPlayer as well. Let's turn our attention to something that we talked about in the build-up to this game, involving a player who's on the bench for Hull City's opponents this afternoon in Aaron Connolly for Sunderland. For a large part of last season, Hull City fans and journalists alike questioned why Aaron Connolly seemed to have favoured for the Tigers. But perhaps we might have got some answers. The Irish striker, who was released by City in the summer and eventually joined today's opponent Sunderland, recently talked about his struggles with addiction and mental health. As part of that interview from Sunderland's website.
It was obvious I had a problem with alcohol for a good few years. I had my parents who never drank before always telling me when I was younger, when I would go out or anything like that, they'd always advise me to stay away from alcohol. It was always their thing because of addiction to alcohol in my family. And yeah, I didn't listen, clearly. And it got me in a lot of trouble, and it got me in a lot of problems. And it just became something that I relied on. yeah, it was just, it felt like my boys used to come from football and winning games and scoring goals. And it got to a point where the boys was more from drinking alcohol than going out on a football pitch. And I used to look forward to the games finishing so I could have time to go and have a drink, go and socialise, I say. It was an excuse to go and get drunk, to go straight to alcohol, and that was where I got my buzz from. Whereas before, it was always the buzz of football, and the buzz of being around an environment like I am now, and feeling the way I am now, excited to play football, where for 3-4 years, that just wasn't there.
This all led to a breaking point earlier this year. What was that realisation like? Was there a moment where you just said, I can't do this anymore?
Yeah, so I decided in, I think it was the end of July, sorry, that it was too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't live the way I was living because it was killing people around me, to be honest with you, my family, my friends. And mainly it was killing me really. I had one of my best seasons last year at home, but off the pitch my life was a mess. And the manager at home, to be fair, always looked after me and always tried to help, but it just got to a point where it wasn't like life wasn't worth living. It wasn't a big dramatic thing. It was just my life was so unmanageable and I couldn't control what I would do, or I couldn't control my alcohol, and it just got to a point where I had to make a decision that I needed to go to a treatment clinic, and I went to live there in the summer, and I just said to my agent, I don't want you contacting any clubs. I'm not doing this for football. I'm not doing this for anything else. I'm doing this so I can get my life back. If stuff in football comes with that, then that's a bonus. But it wasn't even the football in the end that was taking the biggest beating or battering. It was my life, my relationships, my family, my friends. Everything was just failing, falling apart. And when your parents are calling you, you're not answering calls because you know you're breaking apart. It's time to realise that I've got a problem.
You made that brave call this summer, a brave call for anybody to make, including professional footballers. In our conversations over the past, you've been adamant you wanted to talk about this, you wanted to tell your story. Why is that so important to you?
It's important to me because I really wish that there was someone or a player or a person that I could listen to an interview or listen to a podcast, which I always do, and an active footballer could have come out and just said, listen, I just took a break from my career, I need to go do this for me. And I always listen to podcasts, and there's players who've retired and said that they've gone into treatment centres, and I just feel like it's for our people, if I'm being completely honest. I had everything that any young boy would dream of, and I couldn't get hold of my addiction. That's what it is. It is an addiction, and it was the toughest thing I ever had to do was to go in there. And this isn't just to help just footballers. I know there's people out there. There could be people in the Sunderland area, Brighton area, Hull area. I'm just showing them for examples of clubs I've played at. And I know I was obviously grateful that the PFA helped me out with the cost of the treatment centre. And I know some people might not be in that position to be able to afford it, but I just wanted to speak about it, to know that it's not just park bench, vodka bottle. That's not it. anybody can get affected by it, and there's no price tag or there's no amount of money in the world that can cure it. It's a disease, it's an illness, and I never thought of it like that until I decided that I needed to go to the clinic, and it was the best and worst month of my life, I'm being honest. I learned so much stuff, because I always thought when I was going in there, and I decided to go in there in the 2 weeks leading up to it, I thought, am I being dramatic? Do I really have a problem? And I'm not going to go into detail about the stories and the stuff like that. That's stuff that I don't need to go into detail about. But if people knew the stories, they'd understand why I went in there, because it was getting to a point where it was just a dark place, if I'm being completely honest, and I didn't know where else to turn apart from professional help.
A very honest and very open interview with Aaron Connolly that he gave to Sunderland's club website for World Mental Health Day, where he talks about his struggles and his problems and battles with addictions, which clearly is not something that will just end by that interview. It's something that he's dealing with on a daily and constant basis. Aaron Connolly out warming up for Sunderland today, which to some extent looks a bit strange. I think for City fans will be used to seeing him warming up in a Hull City shirt, but he's out there for Sunderland and maybe a second half substitute for them here at the MKM Stadium. Good afternoon, it's BBC Radio Homicide Sports on a rare Sunday afternoon 3 o'clock kickoff, half time in your big match commentary this afternoon. It's goalless between the Tigers and Sunderland.
Richard Stead.
Every weekday.
Do you carve a pumpkin?
No.
Bet someone's carved a Peter Levy pumpkin, haven't they?
I think possibly in the past, yeah. I'd like a Peter Levy pumpkin.
Would you?
Yeah, that would be good. What are you writing in your book, Peter Levy pumpkin?
Yes. Yeah. Can it be on set? Can it be on the set of Loch North on Halloween?
Possibly.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I was just going to say, is it a fire hazard? Peter Levy set fire to the building with his
No more than you are, yes.
Richard Stead.
Every weekday from 2 on BBC Radio Homicide.
Every game live. BBC Radio Homicide Sports.
Afternoon with kick-off for the second half. Fast approaching here at the MKM Stadium, back with Mike White and Swanee shortly. We're expecting the players out any time now. Nice moment as we see the present Hull City players warming up the substitutes who may have some involvement in the second half. A really nice moment as they were going through their drills, as the generation of tomorrow was presented to the fans. Probably difficult for the fans in the East Stand to see what was happening, but certainly us in the West Stand, we saw a line of very young, fresh-faced children in their Hull City shirts with 24 on the backs of each one. That the cast of what could be Hull City's future for the club's academy. But there's an interesting story emerging from one of those young players. Now, if you're a Hull FC supporter, you'll know the name Carlos Tuamavave. Long career here at the MKM Stadium. We know his association with the Black and Whites and Hull City and Hull FC ended a few weeks ago as he was released by the club and will play rugby next season elsewhere. But there is a Tuamavave back at the MKM Stadium, Mike, isn't there?
There is. One of his young children, one of his lads is signed up with the club as just one of the young players who'll come through and try and make his way as a youngster and maybe all the way through the academy, maybe to the first team at some point. Yeah, it was nice to see. We saw him briefly, didn't we, in the press room beforehand. The youngsters were getting the pictures taken with a pen in hand up on the desk where the managers and players sit for post-match press conferences.
I did flippantly say as one of them was there was the press bench as if it were the post-match interview, as if it were a player interview, and there was one lad posing there with his family. I did flippantly say, is he the new replacement for Tan Kessler? And there was a moment. So, yeah, I don't. Maybe too soon.
Tumbleweed bundling through the room.
Maybe too soon. But congratulations to the Tuamavave family as they have a new recruit joining with the Hull City Academy.
I think it's safe to
very soon.
I think it's safe to say the family are going to be sticking around the area for a little bit. He's obviously looking for a new club. I know he's been linked with St Helens. I don't think that's going to be happening, but he's still trying to get himself a club to play at next season, so he'll certainly be sticking around the area though. We'll try and get him on actually. We spoke to him, didn't we? Hopefully we'll try and get him on, and not just from the rugby side, but to find out a little bit now with the Hull City connection as well.
Absolutely, yeah. From the oval ball to the round ball, as we have now, as the game is about to kick off, is Mike White of Swanee.
Cheers, Jake. Yeah, back underway. Swanee is back with us as well. And all the talk at half-time was about the, well, in particular, Swanee was about the handball that wasn't given. Mixed opinions, but we're still of the opinion that it was a clear handball, albeit outside the area, aren't we?
I can only work on my opinion of what I saw as a centre half. That's going over my head. I'm thinking I'm missing it. And I think the lad's got a chance of getting. I'm going to put something out just to make it look like an accident either way. And that's what he did. And went to safety.
Yeah. Very open first half, but not necessarily blessed with loads of quality, particularly in the final third, was it?
It's a game here that you want to take something from against the top team. I say it's mainly like say going forward. It's like that right decision at the right time. So how long will he keep it like this or make changes?
Yeah, there's options on the bench. We'll go through the team in just a second. As Coyle is challenged at halfway, goes out for a Tigers throw-in. City making 4 changes from the side that lost at Norwich going into this one, with Zambrano, McLaughlin, Slater and Miller dropping out. Hughes makes his full debut. Gustavo Puerta makes his competitive City debut. He played in the friendly out in Turkey last week. And then Simons and Kamara, the other 2 players coming in, as Bedja is penalised for a foul at halfway. In fact, it's going to come back before then for a free kick to Sunderland, which they take quickly. City have got Panda in goal. A back 4 of Coyle, Jones, Hughes and Drame. Simons in front of the back 4. Then it's Balumi, Malem, Puerta and Kamara, and Bedja, the lone striker. Sunderland have got Patterson in goal. A back 4 of Hume, Mepham, O'Nien and Sirkin. Neal and Bellingham, Roberts, Rigg and Mundle, and then Isidore is the striker. The ball's with Alfie Jones, who's just got Charlie Hughes alongside him. He utilises that option. Hughes has looked good, hasn't he, in that first 45 minutes?
Yeah. First 2 minutes, I think he got caught on the ball. Very similar to the Norwich where he got punished for that.
But since then he's done everything that's been asked as he sends that one forward, not frightened of getting one. He's right-footed, but playing it with his left foot as well. And then he powers a header up towards Kamara, who doesn't manage to find a teammate as he chests it down, but City still keep possession. Now Hughes again, side foots it inside to Alfie Jones. Here's Coyle. Now Balumi. Back to Coyle again, just pointing the way, directing traffic, showing them where he wants them to go. Panda in pink across to Drame. Back into Panda again, who has to make sure he deals with this quickly. They've got themselves in a tight spot as the press comes in, and then that is going to go off for a City throw-in. I thought that might have come off Puerta last year, but it's the far side of the ground from us. As City attack, as we look at it, left to right in this second half towards the south stand of the MKM Stadium in black and amber. Drame with those sort of orangey pink boots will take 3 big steps forward and then launch it down the line, headed inside but only as far from a Sunderland player to Malem, and now City can come forward, and they do it with a bit of purpose. Slips it to Coyle. Coyle has some support and he'll try and send Balumi away. Comes off the chest of Sirkin. Sirkin plays it down the line, goes out for a Tigers throw-in. Dennis Sirkin, the Irish-born England under-20 international with Latvian parents, so certainly got a choice of where he could have played. Been through at Spurs. And it's Balumi, holds the ball up, he tries to get away from Sirkin. That's going to be another City throw-in, this time 10 yards further towards that right corner flag. About 4 minutes of this second half have gone, And Coyle takes the throw in into Milam. Milam in the area, deflection, takes it straight into the hands of the keeper. But that's sometimes what you got to do, haven't you? Gamble, make that chance.
Yeah. I say anything there ricochets and it go flies past the keeper.
Too many times
That's a bit more positive though.
Yeah, City a little bit too timid in and around the penalty area, aren't they, at times?
Timid.
Not quite going for it. Reserved.
I know what timid means, Mike.
No, I'm just, you sort of question, you did it with a questioning tone.
So, but you've heard me say timid before.
Okay. It felt appropriate on this occasion, Swan.
Okay, that's fine. It's a good question, isn't it? Move forward.
Move on. So wormhole we really didn't need to go there. It's back with Pandor. Now across to Hughes. City's bench, they've got Rachopi, the sub-keeper, with Carl Rushworth potentially out for a while with an ankle injury. Giles, McLaughlin, Miller, Pedro, Zambrano, Slater, Palmer and Burstow. Let me just get a thought from you on Slater's exclusion from the starting side again in a second, Swanee, when we have a breaking play. Nice work from Puerta, that's good footwork from him to get around the outside of his man, and then he's fouled in the process. Free kick, Puerta goes down, rolling around the Colombian. A little bit maybe theatrical as he went down. Hopefully he's okay, and that will be a free kick to the Tigers. Yeah, Regan Slater, one of the players to drop out. We've seen that a couple of times now, Swanee. Many fans like what he brings in terms of his energy in the side. Were you surprised to see him make way?
Yeah. Like I say, he's got to find himself unlucky, but again, there's a lot of players that you've got to shuffle around to see who links up with who better. That's what it is. It's like getting that jigsaw piece to fit. Once you get that, like, we're hoping the two centre halves fit, and you can, that's part of your puzzle solved, isn't it? I don't think he's going to get that puzzle solved for a while in front of him, in that midfield and the strike area.
Also looking at 3 games in a week again. Here's Balumi as the ball falls to him, and a curling shot just wide in the end. It was high, it was curling, but just didn't curl in enough, and flies into the south stand. Cracking shot from Balumi, couldn't keep it down. He scored a couple here last time out, don't forget, but not able to hit the target this time. 51.5 minutes gone. Hull City 0, Sunderland 0.
Yeah, we need more of that, don't we? That's great movement there. They saw where the danger was. He tried showing him down the line. He checked. As soon as he got that space to come inside, he came inside and got that whip on it. Just not as much as he wanted, but that's the area. I think he had 2 chances the last home game, which he got his sighters for. And that's how his second one flies in.
Yeah. Here's Jones working it inside his own half. Did well there, Balumi. As I said, he'll be have a bit of confidence about him from that Cardiff game. City have been on the road twice since then before the international break. Away at QPR, the victory there, and then the loss at Norwich. Charlie Hughes had made a run, but Jones has opted for a different outlet in Simons. Across to Drame. Puerta in a tight spot, he'll get himself a throw-in. The Sunderland bench, no changes from them either so far. Moore, Brown, Rusin, Alchichi, Connolly, Alexic, Yelde, Watson and Johnson. Watson and Johnson, a couple of the younger players in the Sunderland side, both England under-18s, but not too much in terms of match action, but have been in and around the first team squad recently. Is Hughes across to Jones. They've just switched positions at the moment. Drame down the line to Kamara, plays a quick ball up towards Puerta. Puerta goes down, the ball will run into the path of Kamara, who gets his shirt pulled but doesn't stop him. Keeps going. Kamara tries to turn it inside in towards Bedia. Bedia on his left foot, chance to shoot, hits the angle of the goal and comes away. Still sitting with Hughes, now Balumi. Oh, he just showed a bit too much there in front to Bellingham. And Sunderland should be able to clear that one away. But Puerta trying to get in there, fired downfield. And that was a chance. It was a lovely strike. Coyle is fouled. City free kick. Peter Swan.
Yes. I say unlucky or not, I think he's got to score there. He done the out bit, created the space back towards goal, got his little shuffle on, got his couple of yards, and he got more space than he knew he had there. He went for power rather than just wanting to elect him just to side foot it past the keeper. I say when he smashed it, I think I hit the crossbar and the post at the same time, didn't he?
He just seen it on the replay. He's trying to pick the top corner, isn't he? But he's maybe just caught it on the outside of his left foot. There's a header into the area. Might drop to Bedia again. City still pressing. Bedia, side netting. It's took a deflection. Corner. City ramping up a bit now.
Yeah, they're looking a better team now, aren't they? Last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Since they've come out.
There's definitely opportunities here for City, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just taken them. They're creating them. Like I said in the first half, I thought we got ourselves into a better position. The Sunderland do.
They might look to be more organised side, as this one's going to be drilled cross field. It's going to come away from everyone. That's not a good corner. And it's almost back at halfway. And play back to Pandor. You see this again just behind. Comes to Bedia. Oh, yeah. Needs to just show a bit more composure. I don't think that's the right word. Maybe it's composure, yeah. He's tried to drill it, hasn't he? Yeah. As Jones.
Not taking it away from the left.
No. But denied by the angle of the goal. Coyle inside to Silence. Now Jones gets it away quickly to Hughes. And back to Jones again, to this near side to Coyle, just in front of Tim Volter. Balumi wants an option. He's got a couple of players around him. Nice footwork from him to get away from it. Then slips it into the channel. Malin tries to play in Bedia. Bedia's going to give away a foul here now. You watch. No, he didn't. He tried, didn't he? He did try. It was that frustration that it got away from him. They managed to get a throw-in out of it. 56 minutes gone at the MKM Stadium. Balumi to Coyle. Coyle curls across towards the back. Kamara's there. Kamara's come under it. But the referee says a foul anyway. And that'd be a free kick to Sunderland.
Yeah, good delivery on it by Coyle. Come out at the back there, it's 12-40 yards. You realise you're not going to get it. You can see the flight of the ball. You've got to check your run. And Kamara continued his run and just jumped into the player. Got to do better.
Especially because there was another City player in front of him. They could have been the one to try and go in at the near post.
That's what you're on about, making this. If you're making the same runs, that one ball kills both of you.
Yeah.
One goes in there, the one comes in there. You've got a chance.
It was nice work from Balumi on this right side though, wasn't it? And then slipped the ball into Malin. I was convinced Bedia was going to foul his man there, but he didn't. As Patterson, former England under-21 keeper, sends that one away. Balumi's penalised. Free kick at 15 yards inside the City half. The visitors want to get on with it quickly and do. Neil, the captain, stabs it to 09. Now Bellingham. Joe Bellingham, who's 19 years of age now. Sunderland paid $1.5 million for him back in June of last year from Birmingham. And then it's across this near left side to 09. Neil slips and stumbles there. Neil tries to get it from him. It's going to be played back by 09 to Patterson again. It's not been the highest level of game, Swanee, but it's had its moments, hasn't it? Particularly in this second half.
Yeah. Can't see it coming goals from you.
No. Well, you called it, can't. When you make the proclamation, Swanee, you can't, Yeah. I'll just remind you of City versus Leeds last season again.
How's that mean?
Yeah. Jones sends a long diagonal ball forward. Flag's going to go up for offside anyway. And that will be a Sunderland throw-in on this near side. They're attacking in that sort of bluey, grey, silvery, pick a colour away kit. It'll be a free kick just 10 yards outside the penalty area. Mike and Swanee with you. James Hogarth up as well. He'll be back at full time to take your calls, your messages. Get a view from our fans panel as well. You can join the discussion. 08000 665959. Give us a call or text 81333. Put the letters R and H at the start of your message. On social media, X, formerly Twitter, @Humberside-Sport. You can send us a WhatsApp if you can create, easy for me to say, create Radio Humberside as a contact, 08000 321 333. Again, put RH at the start of any message you send on there, and that'll come through to BBC Radio Humberside-Sport. As Method slips it to that right side, down the line to Chris Rick, who scored on his league debut for Sunderland back in September of last year in a 5-0 win over Southampton. No goals here yet though so far. Arjun just shown on the TV screens. He's looking on. He's got the big overcoat on, the padded jacket to keep him warm. It's a chilly afternoon, but not the coldest. It'll get a lot colder as the next couple of months come along. And I would imagine he'd feel it given Turkey and Dominican Republic are his regular haunts. Is Sunderland on the edge of the area. Comes back to Roberts inside the box, gets away from one man, then another, and it's blocked as Simons throws himself in the way. Jones
showed great free Roberts there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Lovely little moves to just get away from a couple of City players. That comes off a Sunderland man, and out for a Tigers throw.
I just thought it was that tight, we're never going to get a shot away, but somehow managed to scramble one away.
That's the Sunderland fans you can hear in that far corner. They've travelled well this afternoon in an attendance of 23,072. They've certainly contributed to that. And they span across the corner from north stand to east. And pretty much full from top to bottom as Bedia comes away. Tries to ride a challenge, goes down, no foul.
Great turn though, to get away from his man at the outside line.
Past the hour mark here at the MKM Stadium on this Sunday afternoon. Hope you're well, wherever you're tuned in listening, whether you're in the car around East Yorkshire and Northern Lincolnshire, or maybe sitting down ready to enjoy your Sunday lunch.
That's what we should be doing.
It should be. As soon as the football's worth it, Swansea City need to give us something to enjoy this Sunday afternoon in terms of a goal, don't they? It's going to bounce through to Ivo Panda. We heard from the Sunderland fans, the City fans in that north stand duly obliged to let them know they're still around.
Plus 3 points, it tastes better than a Yorkshire pudding.
What about 4 Yorkshire puddings? We'll not go there.
No, we're pushing it.
We'll not go there.
Thick gravy.
Depends what it comes with. So this right side. Those who know will know.
See you later. Bye.
Yes.
Come on.
Nearly 62 minutes gone. Sunderland in possession in City's half. Mundle. Left side. Drives the cross in. Jones hasn't dealt with it. Isidore tries to get the shot away. Thankfully, the Tigers are equal to it. It's played forward by Hughes. Gadget nearly got there. Kamara might send Balumi away. Balumi's going to get in behind the defender. Is it on? He's taken a deflection and then saved by the keeper. The keeper gets a touch. Did the referee spot it? He did. That was incredible. The process. So Kamara plays the diagonal ball. It goes to Balumi, who tries to shoot first time. Sirkin gets a foot in. It deflects towards the top corner, and then the keeper tips it around.
I think the defender got to the ball first and smashed it against Balumi. And then it was the keeper.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
But either way, the keeper's had to go full stretch,
Yeah, full stretch and push it away.
Corner taken, the referee's getting in the way again. Here's Malin, and City's got to be careful here. And Isidore's broken away, and the referee's played a part in this, but there's nothing they can do to bring it back. Isidore keeps going, Drama gets back. There's Isidore, there's Pando, and Sunderland are going to score. And that comes because Bobby Madley couldn't get out of the way. He's going to book Alfie Jones, but Sunderland will take the lead. Malin was trying to get the ball turned inside Sunderland's half. Bobby Madley was in the way. Malin's played it back. Drame couldn't get there, and Isidore's gone forward, and despite Drame getting back at one point, he's managed the striker to get it out onto his left foot, and he's dinked it past the keeper. That's what the boos are for, but I'm not sure Bobby Madley could. Well, he could have done something about it. He could have stopped play. He didn't, and Sunderland have taken the lead. It's Hull City 0, Sunderland 1, and controversy, but the Tigers have been done on the counter.
I don't know what to say on that occasion there. So, like I say, the position he got himself in. Fair play when the lad got one-on-one. I thought Drame did exceptionally well to get back in there, then he just did a little twist and turn, and great finish in the end, but the build-up to that is, what do you do? If that's Premier League, do they VAR it? I don't know the ruling, Mike.
Well, that's surely when the ball, because I thought it hit Madley. If it doesn't, then I don't think he has to stop it. I'm not sure the rule to that level. The referee's going to come across now. It's Julian Hooper who's just been booked. Liam Miller's about to come on. Malin and the referee came together. So what?
I've seen that again, and I'm not.
Has the referee touched it?
No, it's nowhere near the referee.
Then in that case, I'm not sure the referee. He's in the way though, isn't he?
No, the ball actually, it was in the way when the ball was coming to Malin. And he had hold of the ball first. He got hold of the ball.
Right. So yeah.
After that, he did.
Yeah.
And it might have been in his thoughts, the decision making, but he knows himself. So I've seen it again. It's not as bad as what I first saw.
Really, yeah, I'm not sure there's a lot of comeback on that one. No, the ball's been played out on the diagonal from the corner, hasn't it? As you said, towards Malin, who's behind the
he actually moved the referee out of the way.
Yeah.
But he got the ball at his feet, and then after that, he made the wrong decision and got caught in possession of it. Yeah, that's when they broke and scored. So yeah, you can see he played his part in it, but he had the ball at his feet. And he could have turned and twisted away from it, he didn't.
It looks like I've just seen Louis Coyle as well, just sort of nodding almost in acceptance of the explanation from the referee in the end. So he might not like it, but maybe the justification has pacified him a bit, as much as he won't be happy. Tim Volter's not happy. He stands hands on hips, or did a minute ago, on the touchline, and he's still, the arms are waving. He's not happy with something. Liam Miller's come on anyway to replace Abu Kamara on 65 minutes. Oh, hero, dear Swan.
Expected goal, didn't we? Finished 0-0. Big record these two have got. But I thought we started it right in the second half as well, but I didn't think, we have.
Yeah, they have. But unfortunately, caught on the break. Regardless of, as you said, Malin still had the opportunity to do something with it, and they'd be dispossessed and caught on the counter-attack. And we've seen that a few too many times with City, haven't we? Throw into the Tigers. Midway inside this Sunderland half on the right side in front of the West Stand. And now the Tigers have got it all to do to get back in it. Taken by Coyle, backheeled by Bellumi into nowhere. Sometimes you just got to do the simple stuff right, haven't you?
We have. Go back to basics.
Yeah.
And a substitution coming as well, eh?
Yeah, there is. I'm going to see Palmer and Slater introduced to the action. I wonder who for in a second. Coyle does well to win it back for City, and then Sunderland get it back with Neil, the captain. It's with Mundle. Challenge from Puerta. Coyle's in there. Bellumi. Ball run to Malin. Malin goes down, no foul. And then sent long. It should be Pander's ball to gather, and he does. Sort of half-hearted claims. It's more from the fans than the players down there, wasn't it, on that challenge on Malin? The defender has just maybe got a toe end on it. Well, the visiting fans are the happiest at the moment because they've seen their side lead by a goal to nil here. We're past the midway point of the second half, and City trying to get themselves back level. They've only got themselves to blame as far as losing out when they have possession in Sunderland's final third. Here's Jones. Again, I say only got themselves to blame. Some people will ask and raise the question about the referee's positioning, but not really sure too much was done wrong as Coyle wins a free kick. Wants to take it quickly, but the referee's going to stop him because City are going to make these two changes now as Palmer and Slater are going to come on. Puerta will go off to be replaced by Regan Slater. First competitive appearance, he's lasted 3 quarters of the game. Swanee, your thoughts on him?
Didn't really have much impact in the game for me. No. Sort of glimpses of touches and movement, but again, it's his first game, 45 minutes for a long time, isn't it?
This might hopefully give City a bit of a spark in that attacking area of the field. Casey Palmer coming on to replace Marvin Malin. Two very different players in that regard. What can City do with just over 20 minutes left of the game? Trailing by a goal to nil. That Isidore goal on 64 minutes off the breakaway. Jones to Coyle. Will the space start to open up a little bit more? It's been an open game anyway. Slater will get the throw in, just in front of his manager. Forward to Balumi, hits his head, didn't really know too much about that one. And here's Mundle at halfway, Sunderland have it with Rick. Good challenge there from Palmer to win it at halfway. Then Sunderland win it back. Good strong challenge, nothing wrong with it. And the referee let play continue. Rick to the right side, here's Roberts, drills one through the 6-yard box. Did the City player touch it? Must have done.
Got a flick on.
Yeah, got a little flick on. Now for a Sunderland throw-in on this near left side. Throw into them. Last time City won here at home in the league was back in November 2013, a Carlos Coelho own goal. And again, I saw Sunderland have 2 players sent off. And there's the Sunderland throw-in now. Bellingham tries to step inside. He has Joe on his back. Number 7.
Is that because he showed his art broad enough to put it on there?
Maybe so. The referee getting in the way again. And this time, he does stop it.
He touched it this time.
He touched it. Yeah. I mean, Neil's run straight into him on that one, hasn't he?
He's having a bad day as a referee now. He's feeling that, but not much wrong, has he?
Well, Julian Huber's now down on his hands and knees, putting his hands on his head. As Sunderland fans saying top of the league for their side, they will, as a result of this, as Mundle goes down, tussling with Coyle, referee lets that one go. And Slater has possession midway inside the Sunderland half. To this near right side, to Coyle, tapping left to right in black and amber. Palmer, first time ball off to Balumi. Balumi's going to float one over to Miller over on that far side, needs a good touch, he doesn't get one. And that's a Sunderland goal kick.
I thought he might have side-footed that back straight into the path. Or across the 6-yard box.
Yeah.
To where Beddy was making his run. A good play, great ball.
Lovely ball.
By Balumi.
Yeah, really nice. You'd have wanted Beddy to just gamble, wouldn't you? On that. You've just seen that replay. I know. Yeah, ball forward. Past Sunderland, intended for Roberts. It might have been offside anyway, but the ball's gone through. Flag didn't go up. And City will have possession again. Trailing by 1-0. Get in touch after the game. Drop James a message. You can text him 81333, put RH at the start. We should hopefully get reaction after the game. Before we go off at 5:30, I should say, with that Hull City 120th anniversary special, half an hour between 5:30 and 6 to come. We'll hear from the likes of Brian Horton and Brian Marlowe. The City just living a bit dangerously again there, get the ball away. And we'll have reaction from the weekend in our news bulletins at 1/2 on breakfast tomorrow morning with Kofi back from 6 o'clock. All your local stories and news, weather and travel as well. And here comes Sunderland forward once more. They're trying to build on that 1-goal lead now they've got here at the MKO Stadium. With Roberts, who showed nice footwork again to get past Miller and Drame, but then City do well to win it back. Here's Simons, shakes off a couple of challenges. Miller's made a run. If Simons can spot him, he doesn't find him. He tries to play it centrally to Bedia, and Miller was the ball.
Yeah.
Didn't even look up, did he?
He possibly saw him, but he thought if he can get the right pass here, Bedia's through right in front of the goal, direct. But that was the harder pass. Probably needed a couple of yards on it for Bedia to open his legs a bit more and get away from Netman.
Just looking to our right, frustrated looking fans. One just jumped to his feet then in frustration at that pass, puts his hands on his head, and now he's trying to laugh it off as well as Drame. He's fouled over on that far side in front of the stand. Ironic cheers from the City support over on that far side of the field.
People starting to go here.
Looks like a few are. Look like they've seen enough, unless all of a sudden there's a mad dash to the toilet.
Still 20 minutes to go, come on.
And here's the substitution that we were probably expecting at some point. And it's about to happen as Isidore's just going to take his time to go off. And he's the striker going off, which might tell you who's about to come on. 24-year-old Irish striker. See what reaction he gets. Mixed, maybe more leaning towards boos now as a couple of applause around us. Aaron Conley onto the field. Played 36 times, scored 10 goals for the Tigers. Last season, 4 in 28 appearances. 8 in 28 appearances, I should say. And he's on to replace the goal scorer, Isidore.
Good finish by Isidore.
It was. Yeah, it was. Nice little dink over Pandor, who's been equal to a lot of things this season, but had to try and keep that one out. And wasn't able to do it. Aaron Conley on them, we've seen this script before, Swanee.
I'm glad you said it.
Coyle, the send one down that right side. High ball for Balumi to chase after. It goes over the top of Cirkin, so Balumi gets there. Cross ball in.
It's not a cross, that's
No, it's not actually. Yeah, it was.
Away with that.
Plays behind.
Slater.
Oh, nice footwork from Miller with the bleach blonde hair. Drives towards the goal line, looks to get it back. It's a Sunderland player. Corner kick.
Miller is direct, aren't you, when Miller plays? As soon as he gets it, can he stand his defender up? Can he face him up? Can he beat him? Can he get past either side of him?
Asked Tim Volter about that directness a few weeks ago. He said it's fine, but sometimes he wants him to just think a little bit more about what he's doing and the way he wants him to play. Make sure he's keeping possession and not just running for running's sake. As the corner's taken, Slater to Balumi. Balumi will cross that one in on his right foot, and a header by Bedia is wide. Not necessarily close either.
No, close.
1-0 Sunderland.
Opportunity. Good way
Yeah.
forward. Bedia, decent position. But it comes in his stud though, that's the thing. You see a lot, don't you? I want to be on the move, mate. If you're on the move, you can get an higher lead, get more power in the room, more power in the neck, and it makes it harder for the keeper then. It's got to be an absolute worldie, if you like, from a standing position to beat the keeper.
It wasn't floated in, but it wasn't exactly drilled in as a cross, so then you've got to make some of that power, haven't you?
Yeah.
As Jones heads it down for Simons. Comes back to the City midfielder, now with Coyle, who was getting a shout from Jones to play it back. He was going to come down this right side, then he does check his run. Coyle will try and send Bedia away. Good work to shield that one away from Mepham. Inside to Balumi, now on the oval, outside to Slater. Slater floats the ball into the penalty area, might drop down to Palmer. Palmer inside to Simon, shoot is the shout. Still Simons, edge of the box, slides it to Slater. Slater drives it into the air and it goes through everyone. Drame will try and get there first and does. Still City's ball, trailing by goal to nil. Letting go, it's good. 12.5 minutes left. Miller cuts inside, gives it to Simons. He has got room if he fancies a shot, and he's rising into the south stand. Well into the south stand. City trail 1-0.
Yeah, they're having a go, which is good. Like I say, the character's always the same. If they go behind, they still try and play the right way, or the right way the manager wants. It's just having that bit of quality at the right time, where like Simon's there, gets on the ball. Yeah, the fans want to strike. It is a striking opportunity, but you've got to at least hit the tag and let the keeper work. Now the time to see the balls fly over in that positions. Probably 9 out of 10 you see that. Yeah.
Nigel M on social media is asking, asked Swanee did he get his shirt this week? Because I noticed Curtis Davis did.
Nothing. I got nothing. No.
Okay. That answers that one.
What shirt am I getting?
I don't know. I'm trying to think what shirt it means.
The club shirts.
Maybe the commemorative one for the.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. As a former player of the club, former record signing, I've done it twice. Managed to sneak it in twice.
Do you know something, Michael? I think they forgot about me.
He can't be forgotten. Who could forget about you, Swan?
I think they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't forgotten about you. You're in the programme this coming Wednesday, aren't you?
I believe so. It's just, yeah. I had to pay to go in.
This feature is sponsored by Peter Swan. Well, City just knocking the ball around in a tight spot at the moment. Pandit to Coyle. Yeah, needs some help from Jones, who's just drifted to this right touch line. Plays it forward up towards Balumi. That's that ball. And then goes to grab his ankle. It will be a City throw-in. Yeah, a few people leaving early. We've seen enough.
It's not the best of games, but
No, it's not.
competing against the top team here. It's him close to getting something from it.
Unfortunately, still trailing at the moment as Miller comes deep to collect that one at halfway and then pushes into his own half, plays it quickly then to Hughes. Square to Jones. Back inside to Hughes again. He's got a bit of space to try and pick out his ball. He just goes simple to Palmer. Into Simons. That wasn't the best of balls from Palmer, that one. Can Sunderland get it back again?
Simons having a go in there. What an out pass.
It's been fairly subdued all afternoon, atmosphere-wise, hasn't it? It's certainly not been rocking. I'm not sure if it's that Sunday afternoon malaise, maybe a few nursing hangovers from last night, as Sunderland take the free kick quickly, and then it's Rigg who sets in Roberts down the right side, watched by Drame, cuts inside, does Roberts, edge of the penalty area, just right to the dig. Now Rigg will sweep it low across to this left side to Mundle, inside the angle of the box, pushes towards the goal line, floats across in, chance for Rigg, and it's side netted. Oh, there was a half cheer from the Sunderland fans, you heard it, and then it quickly sort of went away with it as it hits the side netting. Goal kick to City. Sunderland still lead by a goal to nil, but it could have been 2. I thought he'd hit the target, Swanee.
I think it was Mundle again down this left side, who's just got the better of Louis. Not many times today, but that's one that he just floated in. And the lad came in and he caught it sweet out, didn't he? He took like a snapshot on the half volley. I thought it sneaked in the near post as well, but lucky for us, like the other side was still in this game.
Sunderland fans were closest to it, but they thought not. And City now just trying to wedge their side forward because Panda's holding it up on the edge of his D. Wait for an option, doesn't have one yet. That one's headed in field by 09. Simons tries to get in there, misses the first attempt at Bellingham, misses the second one, and then Bellingham just strides away. Gives it to Roberts on the outside, 25 yards out, a couple of yards from the right touchline. A couple of showboating step-overs by Roberts, and then laid back behind, and it's with Neil. Inside to Rigg. Miller does well to just put pressure there on Hume, and City managed to win the ball back, and Drame can come across halfway. Slides it down to Miller. Again, he short arms him on the pass though, and that allows a challenge that comes off a City player and out for a Sunderland throw-in. There's no again that word conviction, Swanee, on the pass, was there?
No, real belief.
Lackadaisical.
Yeah, gonna make it happen. Don't expect it or wait for it to happen. Make it happen.
Sunderland are going to make a change. It's going to be Alan Brown, the ex-Cork and Preston midfielder, to come on. They don't need to change too much at the moment, do they? They're in control on the scoreboard, leading by a goal to nil. The City set to make a change as well. We'll see shortly. Here come Sunderland again, driving up towards halfway with Dan Neil. Then gives it to Rigg, who's just found little pockets of space all day long, hasn't he, to just have free will. Gives it to Roberts on the right-hand side, into the area. Tries to drive a low left-footed crossing, which is blocked. Miller recovers, and then tries to turn away from Roberts. Gives it to Hughes, and then Miller's foul, goes down, rolling around, holding his face. The linesman's right there, though, and he's not really reacted to anything, has he? Not sure if a stray arm caught him or anything. Did he book him then? I just looked down, the card came out. Yeah. So Roberts did get booked in the end. And we've got 7 minutes plus stoppage time left for City to find an equaliser. And that will be Roberts' final action as well. He'll surely have to go off over on that far side. It's going to be Brown that comes on for him. Surely he's not going to be allowed to come this way, is he? He is. So they'll make their minds up with this, won't they? Surely when he was in that, right on the far side near the east stand.
The referee just walked past the referee.
Yeah. So sometimes the referee, he's saying he's adding the time on, but it still just takes the sting out of everything, doesn't it?
Possibly.
Final couple of changes are going to be made for City in a second. Zambrano and Pedro will be brought on. Pedro showed glimpses, didn't he, at Norwich? Got into a couple of positions.
Yeah, he did.
In that game at Carrow Road.
worked hard there, to be fair. Looks half decent, to be fair.
Yeah, there's Brown on. And Hughes comes off. And Zambrano comes on. Simons goes off. Hughes is the one to make way as well. So what's he going to do? He's going to go Pedro and Pedro up top. Is he going to a back three?
We'll have a look in a minute. We'll have a look.
Looks like he is. He'll go Drame, Jones and Coyle.
Yeah.
Zambrano will sit. Miller out wide along with Bellumi on this side. And then Slater and sort of Palmer sitting in behind the front two.
Well, they're going for that.
Yeah, they are. They might have a chance here. Ball into Slater. Slater's got a chance to drive into the area. Still Slater drags the ball back and that one's played away. Palmer was just trying to get to it, but was about 10 yards off it. Quick throw in taken by Bellumi. City trailing by goal to nil. Coyle with the cross in towards the back into Miller, who just come in a little bit too close and his header ends up flicking behind him and out for a throw in over on that far right hand side for Sunderland. Again, they'll just allow a few more seconds to tick off the clock. Have you seen enough to suggest there's an equaliser in this one?
I have, yeah. I think the way they're having a go at it, it's just having that bit of quality, right place, and you get a bit of luck as well for it to drop at the right time. And fingers crossed, like I said, they can give it a good go. It's 5 minutes plus injured time, probably another 5-6 minutes, so there's probably 10 minutes left here.
Drame with the header. Hooked over the head of Hugh. Brought down by Connolly, who wins a free kick in the process as well. It's about 10 yards shy of halfway. It's a high five of sorts from Rick. He just drew the foul, didn't he?
Yeah. He's said that a few times when he played for us.
Yeah. So he makes that run as the attendance that we were given earlier announced to the crowd, 23,072. A few hundred of them have already made the way out of the stadium. They've seen enough today. I don't feel that there's an equaliser coming, or maybe just decided they wanted to go anyway. Here's Brown for Sunderland on this left touchline, inside to Bellingham. Bellingham steps away from Palmer, given to Neil. Might come to Connolly. Connolly trying to line up a shot to Roberts in the area. Flags up for offside to Rigg, I should say, not Roberts. He's gone off. Rigg is offside, and that will be a free kick City. 3 minutes plus stoppage time. Can they find something in this closing few minutes of the game? We'll see how much added on time there's going to be as well. Referee Bobby Madley suggested he was adding a little bit more on for Roberts' time wasting. Bellumi tries to play forward for Slater. It's in behind him. Tim Volta gesturing at his players to get further forward, but in the meantime we're going to have to defend this free kick as Connolly's foul just inside the timer's half. And this near left-hand side. So it's going to be back-to-back defeats as it stands for City after it picked up those 3 wins in succession. And then Burnley, the visitors here on Wednesday. The team that Sunderland are going to replace again. We've seen the Lancashire side temporarily go to the top of the Championship. That's nice work from Rigg to get away. Goes down in the area. Shouts from the Sunderland fans. No movement from the referee. And maybe Miller can try and get away from Hugh. It's still Miller. Out for a City throw-in. Taken quickly. Here's Drame. Got some support with Panda outside his area. Plays it across to this near side to Coyle. He's got about 20 yards of space to step into before Mundell just makes a move. Slater first time ball to Bellumi. Bellumi's still going. Tries to thread it through into the area, and that runs through to the keeper. Wrong option for me.
Yeah, wrong option again.
Too many times. Minute and a half left of normal time. Tim Volta looks on arms folded, so too does Regis Labrise, but he's going to be the happier at the end of this game as things stand. Andy Dawson just goes out to have a word with the 4th official. Happy birthday to Andy Dawson today. Not so happy from a footballing perspective though, unfortunately. Here's Slater, heads it up towards halfway. Palmer out jumps. Slater tries to get it back and does. Lays it back behind to his captain. Now Slater once more. Down the line to Balloumi, who tries to hook a first-time ball in, but it's directionless as Conley's going to try and chase after it. Goes after his former teammate Louis Coyle. Coyle steps in front and can work it back to his keeper. Final 30 seconds of normal time. Let's see what stoppage time will be added on. Just anything to give City a bit of hope. As Coyle slips.
5-6 minutes?
Yeah, you would think so, maybe. With the goal and substitutions and stoppages, Miller at halfway is forced back to play to Jones. Into Zambrano at halfway. Zambrano away on the diagonal to Drame. Steps back inside. Ball just kept in by the City left back. The ball about to go up. It'll be 4 minutes of added on time. And Sunderland getting back, but give it away quickly to Coyle. The trail by a goal to nil. Again, there's no real urgency. There's certainly not much oomph by the crowd. It's a fairly apathetic day. I mean, they've not been given loads to cheer and celebrate. But it's just been a bit flat this afternoon. Here's Miller over on that left-hand side, into Palmer, back to Miller again. Can they create something and get a late equaliser? Now, Palmer, out to Zambrano, Miller cuts inside, floats across it, might come to Bedia, back to goal at the moment, comes to Coyle, Coyle with a driving shot, hits the defender. And played away, Conley's almost there, Zambrano should get it first, he hooks it to Balloumi, sends a header into the edge of the area, flag's going to go up against Bedia, and that will be a free kick for Sunderland, and that'll be a minute of the 4 added on time that's gone. And it's going Swan.
Yeah, it just looks to be, I'd class as experience, probably up top. You know, someone that knows what we're doing to make the right. Sometimes you have to make a run. You might just stand still and make yourself some space, or just create space for somebody else. And it's like being streetwise. Don't seem to have none of that today, especially.
No, it's lacking something, isn't it? The Sunderland fans will head back up to the northeast. The happier of the sets of supporters on this Sunday afternoon. As Coyle tries to play it up towards Pedro again, it goes beyond him, and Sunderland get it back at halfway. João Pedro chasing back, foot in there from Zambrano, almost wins it, but Sunderland keep possession with Conley. Now to this left side to Mundle. Mundle just taking it into the corner, he'll try and waste a few more seconds. Coyle has taken it from him, and he's done well there as Coyle, and then Slater will help his captain out. Maybe one last thrust from the Tigers. Can they find a late equaliser? Trailing by goal to nil. 2 of the 4 minutes gone in added time. Reaction to come on Humberside Sport between now and 5:30. James Hogarth will be with you. Get in touch with him. 08000 665959 as Balloumi sends a cross in. That one comes off a Sunderland player. Right. Keeper's up. Panda's been given the nod to go up as well. Inside the final 90 seconds, and can the Tigers find an equaliser and get themselves a point when it looks like this one's got away from them? Balloumi's gone across to take it over on that left-hand side. Some of the fans who were heading for the exits have waited around, curling one in towards Pedro, gets under it and heads that one over and out for a goal kick, and I think that, Peter Swan, will be just about that.
Shouldn't be far off, should it? Obviously a lot of time on here again, but it was a free header, wasn't it? Free header by the lad. I say Pedro got up head and shoulders, putting too much pace on it, put over the crossbar.
Yeah, just taking the time. The keeper just waves his hand out, tells the team to push out. The fans now going out in their droves. They're going to see their side empty-handed this afternoon, drilled forward. Final 25 seconds or so, unless there's any more to add on. I'm not sure there will be. Coyle takes that throw in quickly though as it goes out. Jones sends it up towards Pedro. There's Drame. Oh, and he's given that one away, and it's sent forward off the foot of Hugh, out for a throw-in, and I think the next couple of seconds we'll see referee Bobby Madley put his whistle to his lips, and there it is, and Sunderland emerge victorious. They'll go back top, but Hull City, it's back-to-back defeats now, having lost before the international break, And they come out of that break with a defeat here at home to the Black Cats. A goal in that second half that may be tinged with a bit of controversy, but seemingly there was nothing referee Bobby Madley could do to stop the play, given the corner was taken into his path. Malin loses possession, having gained control of it, and Drame couldn't do enough despite chasing Isidore back to prevent the Sunderland striker from just dinking it over the top of Eva Pandor. City hit the angle of the goal before that with Begia. He had a curling shot wide from Ballouli, but really they didn't do enough to test or trouble Sunderland this afternoon. Trying to be too precise at times within that final third, and ultimately, once again, it will come down to decision making for Tim Volter's side. And it's defeat this afternoon. They'll play Burnley here on Wednesday. That's not going to be any easier for the Tigers as well. They need to just find something to get that spark going again after those recent 3 straight wins. It's defeat this afternoon though. Hull City 0, Sunderland 1. Peter Swan.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy game. You can't say they're lacking effort. That was always going to be there. That is there. That's the team he brings up. But where you nail on the head more than once today about having that quality in the final third and making the right decision. That's not been there for both teams today. But they seem to now to like, more streetwise how to manage the game. I say they've got themselves in decent positions at times, but we create more chances, open chances, but didn't take them. And that, if you don't take, I won't say they were clear-cut chances, but in that first half alone, you could feel the fans having a little moan that you get the ball out wide, the next pass either comes back, intercepts, plays into your striker, the striker loses it. He makes the wrong decision where, I see it from one of them where Benny has a chance to shoot his right foot, tries to bring it back inside. All these little bits and pieces, each start, it nibbles away your confidence. So when you do get in positions, and like you just said there, you want to be so precise with it and not make a mistake where they don't be scared to make mistakes in front of goal. Get that ball whipped in, get the crosses, get movement across bodies, give yourself a chance, but that wasn't there today. So the effort and the character, that's there. But they still come up against teams like Norwich and Sunderland, who I don't think look the best today, but they're managed. Teams at the top, when they're not playing well, manage to still get results, and that's what we need to start working on as well. As if you're not playing well, how can we still? If you don't win, don't get beat by saying giving chances away. Yeah, the referee could have played the part in it. When I saw it again, I thought, no, I'm not having that. It should have still been dealt with. This trouble. By the way, the incident happened on the edge of their box, so they've still travelled about 70-80 yards to score the goal, so it should have been dealt with. So I don't think the manager could be more frustrated than anything. They won't be unhappy with his team effort, but against the top team there, we should at least got a point, I thought.
So for you, no issue with the Bobby Madley involvement in what led to the goal?
Live, I thought yes. When I saw the ball then, what it was, he moved him out of the way and the ball came to his feet. The defender come up and got close to him, then he got his decision what he does with the ball then. It's not to do with the referee. So,
but has he been put off by Bobby Madley's position in the first place?
Possibly, but he still got the ball at his feet, and they got closed down, and he lost the ball then. So, yeah, it could have been in his eye line, could have played a part in it, but not big enough part to blame him. If we'd have had a goal again, if we'd have scored that, we'd have said nothing wrong with that. That's how biased we become, don't we? But we're trying to be in between and on the line, and he's thinking, I still won't be blaming the referee for how we've got beat today, which the manager might do, which that's his opinion. I think we didn't do enough to win that game. Simple as.
Most of us wanted to come with James. Did City do enough? Give him your thoughts on that one. What was your view on the incident that did end up leading to the goal? What was your view on the handball that wasn't given by Mepham just outside the area just before half-time as well? Not sure if it would have necessarily been a clear red card decision, but little incidents and decisions like that can sway games. Give us your thoughts on all of that and more here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport. It's finished here at the MKM Stadium. Defeat for the Tigers, Hull City 0, Sunderland 1.
So BBC Radio Humberside Sport live reflecting on a defeat for the Tigers, they're second in the space of a couple of weeks, and it does mean that Hull City's home record in 2024 continues to look pretty poor. Just 3 wins in the entirety of 2024, and only one of them coming this season at the MKO Stadium. Let's hear from you. You can text between now and 5:30 on 81333. You can WhatsApp 08000 321 333 for RH at the start of your text and at the start of your WhatsApps. We'd like to hear from you. And from 5:30, it's our celebration of Hull City's 120th birthday. Get to hear some club legends. One of the club legends has been sitting alongside Mike and me this afternoon. It's Peter Swan. Overall, I mean, it wasn't the best of games, but it certainly wasn't the worst of games. And there are elements you look and you think, he's building a team here, it will come together. Is it all now about fine-tuning and working with a set of players that, let's not forget, he's added, what, 16, 17 to the mix through the last few months?
I'd say more than fine-tuning. I think you need to put the engine together before you fine-tune it. He's got the players there, the parts. He's putting them parts into that jigsaw which we talked about who's gonna. That's why the changes are made week in, week out, where he's trying to get the right blend together to try and get the successful partnerships all over the field. We've not got that yet. Defensively, I thought we looked solid at times, or most of the time, to be fair, when we were under pressure. We stayed solid as a unit, kept showing out wide as much as possible, getting the blocks in, getting to the second ball, which is important. But I keep going back to the quality of the players that we've got. Like saying, the teams at the top have got quality players very similar to ourselves, but them players are more consistent. They don't make as many mistakes. The chances that leave minimum amount of chances before they're taken. Where we can go through all our players and say, yeah, he's a good player, he's a decent player, yeah, he can do well for us. But it's getting all that together, and like the breaks that we've just had away to Turkey, you'd have thought that would have been a good impact on the squad to get to know him, understand the team and each other. But coming against a Sunderland team today, they're not top of the league for any reason. I'm not saying they're a good team, because I don't think they looked that good team today, but they knew how to get over the line, and that's a little part. We're miles away from that side of it, how to win games, how to manage games. But I don't think, like I said earlier, that players up top, like being streetwise, getting themselves in positions. We just always seem to be wrestling or fighting or a foot race rather than being in control and 1-2 judge passes. When we had this run of when we had the 3 games, we looked a completely different outfit, and that comes to confidence then. So probably the confidence got knocked out of us today, or they didn't let us get us passes running together today. Sunderland, especially that first half, possession-wise, they took control of the game, where I know the manager here wants to take control of games, which it's like an arm wrestle at times, and we didn't really get control of it. But we caught them on the counter-attack numerous occasions, but nothing came in the final third, which is something that's still going to work on. It's like it will be a long season. We're going to get games like that, and we're also going to get games like we saw where we go on the 3 on the bounce and win it, and everybody's excited and you're seeing goals. So there's still a long way to go and a lot of learning to be done.
Does it not help by the fact that amongst the players that he's got at his disposal, the only players that are getting call-ups internationally at the moment are playing for Canada, playing for Jamaica, playing for Ecuador, and they're obviously across the other side of the world. And surely some of his team selection will be based around the fact they've come back from these far-flung places. Is that also not a helpful factor for him? If he's trying to establish, you say, chopping and changing this team constantly, he clearly doesn't know his proper team. But that's obviously a factor, sure.
Yeah, I'd rather him be coming back and playing for England, would you, or Brazil, or Italy, or France. You'd like that sort of quality of player that's coming back. But no, I don't know. I keep going about the factor of players travelling. They don't travel like we travel. We don't sit with his knees up against the chair. They're laid on a bed sleeping. So I'm not having that they travel around the world and come back and they're tired. Because they won't travel like that. If they do, I can't imagine happening. So no, I'm not putting that down to the Tigers. What I will put it down to though, that when the international break does come, he doesn't have the time with the full squad he wants to work with. And if you've got 2 or 3 of the pieces missing, that obviously the better players seem to go on international duty. They're the players you wanted to build the team around.
Last question. Obviously, Sunderland done and dusted now. They return to the top of the league. The team that were top of the league coming into this game at Burnley, they dropped to second. They play here on Wednesday night. Another team that people are saying aren't the convincing package so far this season, but again, another tough test for this Hull City team.
I've seen Burnley a couple of times this year, and I thought, on one occasion, I thought they were outstanding. They looked the unit, they looked solid, more than what we've just seen here, more than the Norwich. So, again, it's a consistency. When they obviously get relegated, you lose certain players, he's going to build again and move forward again. But that will be Burnley be a better team than Sunderland today, that is for sure. More organised. I think, yeah, it's going to be another hard one, whichever way he's going to go. So it's going to be 11 other, probably different 11 players, and probably 3 or 4 more changes to be made on Wednesday.
Good to see you, Swanee. Is it turkey or beef tonight, being a Sunday?
I don't know, it's all gone that now. It's gone that. So it's too late for that now.
I'm scratching something that, yeah, it's looking to watch now. Sunday lunch next week. Swanee, we'll see you here on Wednesday evening. Safe journey home. The thoughts of Peter Swan this afternoon here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport, where it's finished, and we're reflecting on a 1-0 defeat for Hull City against Sunderland.
BBC Radio Humberside Sport.
Evening to you. Yes, normally we're doing this on a Saturday evening, but this is definitely a Sunday evening between now and 5:30 on BBC Radio Humberside. So coming into this, Sunderland were second in the Championship. A victory here at the MKM Stadium would see the Black Caps return to the top of the division. Hull City looking to bounce back from that defeat at Norwich a couple of weekends ago. Did it go the way of the Tigers? Well, you can judge for yourself.
Corner taken, the referee's getting in the way again. Here's Malin, and City got to be careful here. And Isidore's broken away, and the referee's played a part in this, but there's nothing they can do to bring it back. Isidore keeps going, Drama gets back. There's Isidore, there's Bandor, and Sunderland are going to score. And that comes because Bobby Madley couldn't get out of the way. He's going to book Alfie Jones, but Sunderland will take the lead. Malin was trying to get the ball turned inside Sunderland's half. Bobby Madley was in the way. Malin's played it back. Drame couldn't get there, and Isidore's gone forward, and despite Drame getting back at one point, he's managed the striker to get it out onto his left foot, and he's dinked it past the keeper. That's what the boos are for, but I'm not sure Bobby Madley could. Well, he could have done something about it. He could have stopped play. He didn't, and Sunderland have taken the lead. It's Hull City 0, Sunderland 1, and controversy, but the Tigers have been done on the counter.
Robin says 1-0 to the referee, but our Swanee said yes, it was a factor, but there was more to it than simply it being the referee's fault. What do you think about a very controversial goal that seals the victory for Sunderland here at the MKM Stadium this evening? I'd like to hear from you. We have our Tigers at 1:20 special at 5:30 post-match reaction between then and now.
To get the latest on Hull City,
click subscribe on BBC Sounds.
Yeah, love to hear from you. We'll hopefully get the thoughts of Tim Volter live here on BBC Radio Humberside Sport between now and 5:30. You can text 81333. You can WhatsApp 08000 321 333. As long as you start the message with the letters RH, we'd like to hear from you. Let's get some thoughts from Chris, who's a Hull City fan. Evening to you, Chris.
Evening, James.
Let's get the big talking point out of the way. Do you blame the referee for that Sunderland winner, or is there more to it?
I think it comes down to I think it comes down to how kind of lacklustre they were in attack. You know, didn't muster many shots. I think considering the momentum we gained from the last home win, it felt quite flat today.
Yeah, that was something that Mike and Swanee kept coming back to, that flatness, not just from certain sections of the crowd, but from the Hull City play as well. There were moments, weren't there, where, and going into that second half, it looked like City had a bit more momentum behind them. They were coming into the game more, and obviously the nature of the goal would have been a sucker punch, but they were creating opportunities in the sense of having the ball, but not doing a great deal with it.
Yes, and I think we certainly lack that kind of potency in attack. I don't know whether Liam Miller's decision to not start Liam Miller was perhaps misjudged. I know he'd obviously come back from international duty later on in the week, but I think throw him in from the start because he's really a player that was in good form for us, albeit Kamara showed glimpses at Norwich of what he was capable of. I still think he's trying to find his best 11, even though we've had the training over in Turkey. So it's certainly an ongoing work in progress, although there's only so much time that you can allow for that to happen in this league.
And I'll put the point to you that I mentioned to Swanee a few minutes ago. City don't have a lot of internationals compared to perhaps the past when it's been players going off to play for Ireland, say, or Scotland, say. These are players and key players who are going off to represent Canada, Jamaica, Ecuador, and these are three key players in the recruitment drive that's taken place through the summer and into, well, right up till the recent signing of João Pedro. So is that a factor that if he doesn't know his best starting 11, doesn't know the optimum starting 11, he can't work on that because two or three of the key players that are part of that jigsaw, if you like, are away so far away in the world often.
Yes, and obviously here in the interview that Tim Walter did with Mike during the week, he said you couldn't compare the two training camps because it wasn't an entirely new squad that was at the most recent one. But I think that we could really do with having the time to work with these international players, which really only going to be in between matches, sort of during the week at the training ground. But we've got a big squad. We're certainly well stocked in the midfield area, but I think in attack is where we need to see a bit more cohesion and more opportunities for Bedia, who looked a little bit forlorn really up front. It doesn't seem to lot of the ball, and he's there to scoring in back-to-back games just before the break was encouraging, but he's kind of gone off the ball since then, really.
Then is that down not so much to Chris Bedia, but also to the players around him, the likes of Nayland, Balumi, Kamara who started, Miller who came on, Casey Palmer who came on as well. There's lots of people to provide the ball to him, or is that a question mark over whether he's working hard enough in those key critical areas of the pitch?
I certainly think that you're right. I certainly think there needs to be more improvements from the midfielders at the supply line to them because of the way that the style of play is kind of set out by the manager, and I just think we need to look at how we can get the best out of Chris Bedia and make sure he sees more touches of the ball. I mean, the way that our system works, it doesn't seem to be that the central midfielders are seeing much of the ball. It seems to be more developed out wide. But we need to find a way of being a bit more penetrative down the middle so that the front line strikers see more of the ball and hopefully can put the ball in the net.
Chris, safe journey. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Thank you very much for talking to me on the fans panel here on BBC Radio Humberside. Resident DJ Eddie, who was playing the tunes before the game and will be on Wednesday night, gets in touch. He says, I thought I played well in spells, did well to take Joe Bellingham out of the game. Madley 100% lost the game through his poor decisions, especially after seeing the handball towards the end of the first half. And the corner too, he should have stopped play due to his interference in play. On to Wednesday, another tough game. We do go again. Eddie, thank you very much for that. And Eddie, of course, will be in the DJ box, DJ booth before the game afterwards. Being told by, thank you to Matt Dean, who's been watching the game, he says that Sky has said that Tim Walter's booking means he'll be in the stand for the Burnley game. Something we'll potentially talk to Tim Walter about shortly. Mike's awaiting the Hull City head coach. You're in the underneath part of the West stand, so Tim Walter will be getting a bird's eye view of the game as it stands on Wednesday night, Mike.
It will, yes. But just on that corner, by the way, just to clarify, we kind of alluded to it anyway, but just for confirmation, I've been chatting to one of the club staff here, the analysts, and they've confirmed what we thought, that Bobby Madley doesn't have to stop it there. He doesn't.
the ball's not touched him, where it did obviously a bit later on in the game. And Sunderland did get the sort of benefit of the doubt there, but he doesn't have to stop it. So that obviously takes away that side of it. I think there may be questions about his positioning, because I think when you look at it, these referees are given, they're given sort of packs, and they're given research to do and everything about how certain teams play, and that's City's often standard corner, isn't it? They play a lot of those short corners, those balls out on the diagonal. So there'll be questions about that, I think, from a City perspective, about his positioning on that corner, because he has hampered and got in the way of Malin being able to do it, but then Malin's still got to keep possession of the ball. But I think there's probably a bit of sympathy, certainly from my point of view, a bit of sympathy for Marvin Malin. But I think that the flow of it has already been, he's been hampered by Bobby Madley's positioning, and that hasn't helped the situation. So there's a number of ways you can look at it. City still have to deal with it better, I think, in general. But Bobby Madley doesn't have to stop it, but can he be in a better position, I think is the question to be asked them.
The one person we won't be speaking to after this game is Bobby Madley himself. Referees never really put themselves up for interview. You'll be talking to Tim Walter shortly. Thomas Lee, sorry Swanee Tiger, I disagree, says the performance of Bobby Madley and his linesman made all the difference. That game had 0-0 written all over it until Bobby Madley got involved. From Thomas. City were poor. Sooner the manager leaves, the better, this one says. Means better to lose 4-3 than 1-0. Where we have never had, the 1-0 wonder until he's left the club. I can see this being a relegation battle, says that texter. I'll bring you in on the fact that one thing Tim Walter is hampered by is the fact that he doesn't yet know, I guess, what his starting 11 will be. Played in the midfield again today, tried a different sort of midfield duo. We might see that change again on Wednesday night. There's clearly critical areas of the pitch where Tim Walter is yet to really find that blend. Or is it the international call-ups means that he could have started with Zambrano today?
Perhaps. I mean, you're right in the sense that I think he's still trying to find his best side, and the delay in the amount of time it took to get that full squad of players in didn't help the process. That certainly played a part in it. So you can feel some sympathy for him in that. International breaks, a lot of clubs have to deal with it. I don't think you can really point the finger too much at that. Yes, they've got players that are going to be travelling a bit further afield, the likes of Palmer and Miller and Zambrano as well, but again, that's not unique to City. Right now, he's still trying to find his best side, and you can see that there isn't quite that cohesion there. But then again, we were talking about this side a few weeks ago when they went on a run of 3 games, now 3 wins. Now, they weren't perfect performances. That wasn't all of a sudden everything's perfect now, everything's sorted. But people were feeling a little bit differently about it. Thought, well, actually, we can see how it's starting to unfold, and we see what he's trying to get out of this side. So I think you have to be a little bit careful with that. Today, City had, I won't say they had loads of, well, they didn't have loads of chances in terms of testing the keeper, and that'll be, I've seen the message about that. Keeper's not had a save to make today, but they were very much in the game, and that particularly in that second half when they've come out after the break, City looking the better side in there. But for me, it's decision making. Feels like they're trying to be too precise at times. We saw Chris Bedu in that first half. Gets it onto his left foot, and by the time he does that, 3 defenders are around him. I think they've got to be more clinical when they're getting themselves in those positions, because like there, Sunderland capitalise on a controversy and then a mistake, and they've done the job and they've gone away with 3 points off it. So I think there's a couple of different ways of looking at this right now, but I don't think you can just look at the international break as being an issue. I do think there has to be a little bit of sympathy about how long it took to get this squad together.
Mike, back to you shortly. Hopefully we'll hear from Tim Fulton live on the programme when we have our Hull City special from 5:30 today, celebrating with club legends the club's recent 120th birthday. Let's talk to Benedict, who's a Hull City fan. Benedict, I know we had you on Thursday night, but as we didn't really get around to talking much about balls being kicked and headed and that kind of thing, we thought we'd get you back on and speak to you on the fans panel. Evening to you.
Good evening, James.
Needless to say, lots of people getting involved and getting in touch about the goal, the Sunderland winner. What's your take on Bobby Madley, the referee's involvement in that goal, or whether or not he was an involvement in the goal?
I mean, it was directly in front of where I sit in the south stand, and I can kind of see both viewpoints on it, where we obviously take a lot of these short corners, it's become standard from us, so perhaps it should be common knowledge for him to stand out the way as it was kind of demonstrated later on in the game, but at the same time, we've got to defend that a lot better. You can't leave yourself that exposed when you lose possession, but at the same time, I completely understand how Maitland's decision making has been hampered by the fact that Madley's got in the way in the first place.
Mike makes a very fair point, doesn't he, actually, that the refs will be given information and packs on the play, on the way the teams play and set up. So yes, yes, that you could argue there's some involvement in him, but the biggest issue is why was he standing there in the first place? Because, as you say, he will know that City tend to play short corners.
Yeah, definitely. You couldn't fully tell whether it hit him, so obviously he doesn't have to stop the game, unlike when he did later on in the game. But for me, it's a bit of common sense to obviously stand in different positions to start with. So I think this is one of them we can't dwell on it too much, but it's obviously a cause of mass frustration.
And this bulk of games that are coming up between now and the final international break before Christmas, pretty telling. They're all against clubs above City in the table, who are, some of them probably in a similar position to Hull City in terms of ambition, in terms of squad redevelopment and turnover and that kind of thing. This was the first of those chances to judge Hull City, perhaps. What did you learn from that performance this afternoon, Benedict?
I learned that I think we're still a fair way off in some departments. We didn't create that many chances. I thought Hughes, when he obviously his first start today, I thought he was excellent. I thought Gustavo Puerta put himself about a fair bit as well in midfield, but I think the one thing we're lacking is the end products. You could sort of see when Miller came on, he's looking to make things happen, but it wasn't quite going for him today, whereas we've seen in other matches he's flourished. So I think we just are still in that a bit of a transitional phase, but it can't dwell on forever, and eventually these results are going to catch up with us at the end of the season. So
Benedict, thank you very much for your thoughts. Good to speak to you on the fans panel. Let's now hear from the Hull City head coach, Tim Walter. He's live with Mike White here at the MKM Stadium.
He is, James, thank you. Live on BBC Radio Homicide Support, the head coach of Hull City, Tim Walter. Tim, thanks for your time. Probably a lot to go at there, but maybe a couple of moments of controversy in particular, and one that led to the goal. What's your view on that, first of all, the corner and the subsequent goal that they've scored from it?
Yeah, it's hard to explain at the moment, because I went to the referee's room and they apologized for this situation, but I said all I can say is that you are maybe better be prepared for the situation, because we are playing every set pieces, and then you have to find another position, and you should always really be prepared. So, but that's all I can say. It's not about the situation. Maybe you cannot whistle or something like that, but in this situation, for me, if you know how we play, then you could know it normally. So that's a frustrating situation. But afterwards, we could score. Also before, we had a lot of situations in the first half. We had a lot of counter situations, but unfortunately we didn't use them because the last decision was not the best. So that's the hardest thing in football. And afterwards, especially in the second half, we had a lot of possession. We created many chances, but then that's maybe a point for today. At the end, we weren't clinical enough, and we lost a bit the head, especially in the last 5 minutes. So we have to play and play our style, because then we can create more. But it's a learning. So I'm really happy about the performance, because we went, especially from the first half to the second half, with more courage into the game, and there we had possession. We played against the top of the league. So, but we showed that we can maybe be on the same page. But yeah, that's the bonus for the leading team of the league. They are maybe a bit more lucky.
I'll pick some of that in a second. As far as that decision making, which you've spoken about before, just back to the referee. Because looking at the time, normally you wouldn't be notified. Did he invite you in to apologise to you for that?
Yeah, he did. So he did, but it doesn't help anymore. So it's more about finding the solution for the next games. But if it helps, especially for the other reps, how we play, then it's a chance for them. So all I can say, I can invite everybody to show them how they can stay. So for me, it's fine to talk about, but at the moment it doesn't help, because also at the first half where there were a clear hand, and it's for me it's a red card, and but he had another opinion.
So I was going to ask you about the handball. I'll come back to the referee in a second. So for you, clear red?
Yeah, 100%. He went the arm in front and played the ball with the hand to the keeper, and especially the players said the same. So what should I say?
Would it have been clear enough that Gus would have been able to control the ball? Is that maybe I mean, they haven't given a decision at all.
If the player is in front of him, he plays with the hand the ball back. So for me, it's outside the situation, and he controlled the ball. And then for me, it's a clear hand.
He's reached out, hasn't he?
Yes, he reached out his hand, and but yeah, it's never-ending story. We try to looking forward and trying to take the frustration into motivation for us.
What was your reaction to the referee when he's apologised? Then you said it doesn't really make a difference because it doesn't change the result. But what was your reaction to Bobby Madley?
What should I say? I can say nothing. He apologized, and then I said, okay, and then that's all I can say. It's the preparation for the game. So that's it.
As far as that preparation, is it right that the referees are briefed and they're given instruction on how teams play, and they should be aware of how you?
I don't know. That's the reason why I said maybe we can invite them. It's just an advice for everybody. They are all invited to our training ground. That they can see how we play, or maybe they can take the video and then they can see, or maybe they can ask me. I'm open for everybody and everything, so just ask me. And football is human. If you make mistakes, then it's okay. But unfortunately today it was one mistake too much.
Does that situation excuse Marvin then for giving the ball away, or could he still be better at that?
No, that's the same situation, but if you lift your foot in the last moment, then maybe you can't have the idea that you get the ball like this. So, but he can solve it also better, and also in the back we can defend it better. So it's just maybe a reaction on the other reaction, and unfortunately we are not that lucky at the moment. But it will come. It will come because the boys working hard, and I saw the progress. I'm really proud of how they play and how they improve themselves. Yeah, but it's a philosophy, and it takes more time maybe. But how they show and how they prove to play, that's I'm okay with that.
Final part on that: were you booked at the end of the game, and if so, does that mean you're in the stands somewhere still?
Could be on the weekend, but it's just he said do it inside, and I said, but it was a mistake, and then he would be.
Right. Okay. How pleased were you with the reaction after the break? You seemed to sort of get a bit of a hold in the game after half time. What had you said to your side at that point?
Yeah, that we have to be more courageous, so we have to more driving in, playing a bit faster, having better angles, especially for our goalkeeper. So, and they did. So, and then, they couldn't reach the situation then, and also the pressing was much better. We had more intensity on the ball. So that's the key fact, but unfortunately we lost the game, so it doesn't help us at the moment. But maybe for the future it will help us 100%, because they showed that they can stay on the same level with the top team, and that's what we have to show on Wednesday.
You will get into those positions in the final third, as you alluded to, but you've not forced their keeper into making a save. Are some of your players trying to be too precise at times in the box?
Yeah, but that's the hardest way you can play if you have not that many space because the upper side is playing deep. Then you have to be more precise. You have to take the right decision, and we didn't. But also in the counter situations in the first half, with a lot of situations to score. I remember a lot of situations, especially from Abu. So and yeah, it's the same like we had maybe before. So, but it's the process. It's the way, and the way is the result.
We've got a couple of minutes left on the programme. Just a couple more quick questions. You made 4 changes. What were you looking for within those changes? What was your thought process?
From the beginning, you mean?
Yeah.
So nothing. They deserved it to play. That's the reason why they're playing, and they played today. So maybe on Wednesday it's different because it's all about the training sessions and how they help the team against an opponent. So it's all about analyzing. It's all about the performance in the training. And if you deserve it to play, you can play.
Do you still feel like you know your best side yet? Are you still trying to find that right combination?
No. I'm really happy with the boys. So it's not about results, like I said. So now we are on the point that we can stay with those teams. At the beginning we didn't have it. So but now we have to score a bit more. But like I said, that's the hardest way in football. And at the moment it's frustrating. We wouldn't talk about it if we didn't concede the goal today. So you have to ask it. It's your job, and I have to sit over there. Maybe you can better ask the referee.
No, I'd probably still ask anyway, just because you're making changes. That's more what it was based on rather than the results. It's the changes to the side that I thought was worth asking the question, and fans would want to know if you know your best side.
They want to know, but. So it's all I can say that I saw that the boys have the willingness to do it and the willingness to learn, and they showed it. But at the end, it's a frustrating result for us, and I can understand every fan. But how we played against the top team in the league, it was also a good situation and a good game for us. So, but at the end, the result is most decisive. But for me, the way to the result is more decisive because then it will come, and we still have a lot of games. So, but we want to win. So for sure, we want to get the results also for our attendances because they were great today. So they supported us really great, and hopefully they will come back and we can do it better because they saw that we try to give everything for them. And for us, and I think that's the best way you can do.
Thanks for your time, Tim.
Thank you.
Tim Volta live here on BBC Radio Humberside, and that's your lot as we're about to celebrate 120 years of Hull City. Lee Dolman says, lacklustre after that trip to Turkey, 0-0 feels like a good result. Plenty to go at tomorrow. Chris Cooper brings you Humberside Sport from 6. Happy birthday, Hull City, 120 on the way next. Enjoy your sporting weekend.
Getting you closer to your club. BBC Radio Humberside Sports.
The 1,000-mile challenge for BBC Children in Need. BBC Radio Humberside is literally going to great lengths to raise money for BBC Children in Need this year.
Our swim team is going to attempt to swim 24 miles in 5 days. That's the distance from Hull to Scunthorpe.
We'll be joining with other BBC teams from across the UK as together we try to clock up 1,000 miles.
Together, swimming 1,000 miles for BBC Children in Need. BBC Radio Humberside.
Tigers, burning bright on hallowed turf. Glorious sight. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry?
20th anniversary of the club. They've had many ups and downs during those times, and in recent decades we saw the club have some great days at their old Boothbury Park ground, almost cease to exist altogether, before rising up from the brink of extinction to climb through the football leagues and reach the promised land of the Premier League and a whole lot more as well. Over the next half an hour, we're going to hear a few conversations with some of those people who played significant roles for the Tigers through those years. Shortly, John Hawley shares tales of the always popular Big Bill, Billy Whitehurst, as well as Justin Whittle and Brian Marwood to come as well. But first, a man who enjoyed success in two separate spells, 2 decades apart. A player, then player-manager, followed by a return that saw him serve as assistant to Phil Brown as they led the club to Wembley for the first time, and that first ever promotion to the top flight in 2008. I caught up with Brian Horton, who was back at the club recently for the 120th anniversary celebrations before the home game with Cardiff.
I always love coming back, and when you're celebrating, you know, so many years, tremendous. And then I want to bumped into Dean Windass so far, but that's what's nice about coming back and you seeing all the old lads that, you know, played for us and played with. Tom Wilson, who coached for me. Dennis Boone's coming, from here, Dennis, when he comes in. But it's just fantastic. I mean, I had great times here, not just football-wise. My children were born in Beverley, so that's, you know, semblance of how much we still love the place. And I love the football club, what we did first time round, promotion, what I did when I came back with Phil Brown, Steve Parkin and the other staff. Obviously promotion to the Premier League. It just rules with success, doesn't it? And it's just, you know, for me when I come back, it's always a lovely atmosphere.
And that's the thing with you particularly. People can class themselves fortunate to have one successful period with a club. To have two such significant spells with the club must be something special for you.
It is. And when I came with Phil, because I didn't know Phil was a friend when I came, when he knew each other's football people. But what he said to me when I came with him, he said, I want to beat you about what you did, because we finished 6th. That would have been in the playoffs. There was no playoffs then. And he said, I want to beat your record, which he did with the help of other people.
But a bit quicker than planned as well.
Yeah, it was first season, and he's brilliant. I still keep in touch with Phil and Bob Shaw, Steve Parkin, Simon Multley, the physio, Sean Rush. We're such a good staff, and that's where it starts from. It starts from the top. You know, if you've got the coaches and the staff, everybody, you know, what's the right way of pushing from the same hymn sheet, then you've got a chance, and then you get the players in, like Ian Ashby, the captain, who was a great captain, Nicky Barnby. I can go through the old team because, you know, Bowes Mile, top keeper, Andy Dawson, Michael Turner. Yeah, it just doesn't stop, does it? Because we had such a good bunch of players.
That particular group, to do what you did and make history for the club, was something quite unique about that group, wasn't there?
It was very unique, and at the end, when we were going for the playoffs, we were virtually unbeatable. And I can remember Phil getting on the coach going from the hotel to Wembley. We sat at the front and he said to me, what do you think today, Nobby? How do you think we'll go? I said, there's no way today we'll get beat. No way on earth will we get beat today. And obviously, he's there now, Dino. And what he used to do, Dino, I mean, he's a great striker of the ball, great ability. He used to, not just Dino, Ryan Hughes, some of the others, California, used to stay and just do a bit of finishing on a Friday before the game on Saturday, and he came to me and said, can we do a bit of finishing? And I said, no. And he went, why? I said, imagine if you tried shooting today and you pull a thigh or anything. I said, no. I said, anyway, you don't need to do that. So as they keep showing, when Fraser, what a good player and a good lad he is as well, by the way, when he floated his over and he hits the volley, he had that natural ability to do that.
That was written, wasn't it? The whole lad, 39 years of age, it was you have to think there was some kind of fate in there, don't you?
Well, I just reminded I gave him a free transfer when he was 17.
He always mentions that.
He's already reminded me.
Did he mention it again?
Yeah, he always does. And what I said when I first came back, I said, if I'd have had my way, when I first come back, I'd have given you another free transfer. Well, that's loved it.
Talk about that first time though, because for you it didn't quite end well, did it? Was it nice to come back? Was it nice to come back and finish the story almost? Is that how you viewed it?
Yeah, it was. And Don Robinson, you know, he was such a great chairman. Brought me when I was 34, 5 years, promotion first year again. As I said, finished 6th the second season, but no playoffs. It was just everything around the club and was just absolutely sensational. The people, which make it, you know, the crowds and the crowds at Boothby Park, and then obviously the new stadium here, which was fantastic to play in, and Phil was brilliant.
You did so much as well, player manager, of course, in that first spell. What do you think when you think back to those times? You said about playing at Boothby Park. What stands out from those periods?
Obviously promotion. One of the big games that stands out was Orient away. We were 4-1 down, come back and win 5-4. And I'd already scored a goal for the Tigers then. And I did a shot last minute, it's inside the bar, comes down. I'm trying to claim the goal, and no way the lads would give it me. They said no, it wasn't over the line. I think it was Andy Frank tapped it in. He said no, they wouldn't give me the goal, would they? At all.
Well, good times, good times, good memories, and the opportunity to come back and catch up with some of those, Jim. What does that mean to you?
Well, you can't beat it, can you? And I love going to all Mel clubs, but as I say, I had 5 years here as a manager, player manager to start with, and then 3 years with Phil. It's a long time. You don't get 5 years now, do you? Or 3 years. But it was the whole club, the whole city, everything about. I love the place. Lived in Ferriby, love Ferriby. Used to play the local golf courses and stuff, and I just love the place. Still do.
You can tell. Just before I let you go, it's great to catch up with you again. It really is. You've obviously had well-documented health issues in recent times, and you said you're okay to talk about it. People want to know how you're doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Steve Parkin, actually, who's at Wrexham now, he still lives in North Yorkshire, and he sometimes stays with us on Friday nights. So instead of going back there and back there again, so he stays over. We've been for a private medical that the LMA, the Managers Association, give us free. And I never had one, so he'd been for his, and he said to me, "Nobby, have you had your medical insurance?" I've done one. He said, "Well, they pay for it, why don't you go?" So it's just down the road in Wilmslow, private hospital. Dr. Sally Harris, she runs the hospital. I went, did a procedure, and she said to me, "Have you got cancer in the family?" I said, "Yes." My grandma, my mum, my brother as we speak, is quite poorly with it. And she said, "I think you need to go for a test." So I went for a test and they found prostate. So found it early, very small, treatable. So I've had my radiotherapy. I'm having the hormone injections probably for about another 8 months. This works in conjunction with the radiotherapy. I feel good. I don't feel like I've got anything. Apart from maybe feeling tired in some of the injuries, which I said I would. But at 75, you can feel a bit tired.
You're looking great, genuinely. You look like you've still pulled the boots on.
Yeah, well, we just come back from Dubai, so we've had a nice time in Dubai, so that helps when you get a bit of a tan, yeah.
Really great to hear Nobby sounding and doing so well. He's always got a story or two to tell. Our next guest is a player who's still part of the fabric of the club, particularly as one of the hospitality hosts on a match day. Former defender, Justin Whipple.
Fantastic fond memories, you know, from the first season, the Great Escape season, surviving, getting in the Football League, and working through various managers, obviously, Warren Joyce, Young Mulby, Brian Little. Good to say, you know, to get that first promotion was fantastic. From the position we was in, and to get that first promotion, you know, in the new stadium, pretty we couldn't do it at Blueberry, but you know, moved to the new stadium, and with business looked in. Fantastic feeling for the fans and for everyone involved.
Does it feel 20 years?
I don't know, just looking at me and saying, yeah, definitely. You look
you look like you can still play.
Slow motion, walking football, no, I don't know, maybe. It's hard to say because obviously I still remember certain points. It's always in your mind, but it's nothing to forget, and obviously fans remind you what went on and what didn't go on, and you go, oh yeah, I remember that, I remember this. But it's, you know, it's been a fantastic achievement, 120 years, and you know, I'm sure it's going to go on for another 120, and hopefully I might still be remembered, I don't know.
I think you will. Joking aside, what does it feel like to be held so fondly in the hearts of City fans who've got that attachment to you as one of their players?
It's unbelievable, really. I've come from Stoke City, really big. And the reason, you know, we started playing football it's also for fans. Everything I do now is for the fans and just people want to see me and people enjoy me being around them. And that's what's so good about this football club. The people, because they're always appreciated, you know, I was always 100%. You know, that's what I'll always be. And obviously the fans recognise that. And it's sort of like, you know, like when you play, you know, there's a lot of players that give 100%, but very ability as well. And that's why they're still doing what we're doing. You know, it's a great occasion.
Who are some of the players you've enjoyed playing most with? I know there are a lot of teammates in there. Who stands out? Who are the ones that you sort of gravitated towards and maybe more than being favourite players so much?
I don't know, because obviously when I first started, obviously it was just me. It was just me. I think it was me and Gareth Williams who signed on that day. Yeah. Then we soon brought in obviously John Wood and Gary Crabbin. You know, they were two great characters. And, you know, as much as football, you could have a laugh with them, so good laugh out, and you know, off the pitch, it was fun in games.
You like to tackle, but perhaps with nothing.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to. That's a good catch him, but you know, we know what Raj was about, you know what John Wood was about. You know, I tried to be fair, you know.
Alan Shearer might disagree, but that's for a different story for a different club.
Well, you know, accidents go up in football, as we know. But, you know, there's some great players. When Ash came in as well, Stuart Green came in, went out, came back in again. You know, and obviously we decided to play David Delaney, centre off alongside me. You know, it's all these great players, almost like coming in and playing in goal. You know, it's just there's so many players I can name. You know, every single one of them. Friends are still friends now. It's not one player that stood out more than anyone else. In my book, everyone was on an equal footing, regardless of what they achieved.
And you mentioned you were one of those lucky players who get to say you played in both. Yes, in the new, what was the KC Stadium at the time, but the place, the cathedral for Hull City before they got the new ground at Boothby Park. You were one of those lucky ones. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was great. Unfortunately, I managed to at Stoke City as well, playing both their old ground and their new ground. And obviously, again, it was fantastic. You know, I loved Boothby Park, the pitch, the atmosphere. Even with less fans, it was a different atmosphere because the fans were on top of you. Yeah. The new stadium, the service is fantastic. It doesn't quite again the atmosphere that is at Boothby Park. Because a lot of the away teams like playing at the new stadium. It's not intimidating, whereas Boothby was very intimidating, and the pitch was nice and good. They also like playing on the National Stadium. It was hard, it was always too hard. It was hard for us. At the end, just about, it took me 2 days for my feet to recover because it was too hard for me. And it was great for playing football. It's now an absolute team tremendous as well.
And Sammy walks just behind you. You mentioned the managers you played for, Peter Taylor, who was Costa manager, that led the club to the promotion that they've been waiting for so long, and again, we said 20 years ago. What's it like to catch up with Peter?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, they've been 2 or 3 times. He's always told me, you'll see the way you face it. That's all they ever done. No, it's fantastic for Peter to be there. You know, he did so well for this club, Bobby, the promotion, and Colin, unfortunately, today. It's always nice to catch up and reminisce.
You're listening to a Hull City special on BBC Radio on the side marking the 120th anniversary of the club. Now recently we were joined in the studio by former Tigers striker John Hawley, who like Justin Whittle was also part of the matchday hospitality team at the MKM Stadium. He shared his memories of playing with a City legend Billy Whitehead, so Big Bill as he was more fondly known to all who know him.
Absolutely, he was larger than life. I came back on loan when Bill was here with Don and I forgot his name, the manager.
Colin Appleton.
Colin Appleton.
I don't know why I would drew a blank then, I knew, but yeah, Colin Appleton.
Yeah, so I came back on loan for a month. We went out, I think it was a Friday morning, we played the next day. Colin Appleton, we finished with practice and corners, gathered us all together, and he said, right, well, you're not playing Saturday, John Hawley, you're playing instead of him. So I thought, well. And then we're back to some free kicks and corners, and Billy was centre half. And it was therefore marking me, and was not very happy with me. I didn't get very near the ball that morning, I have to say. But the best thing was when I came in the dressing room,
I've never been to a club that you didn't have your own kit laid out, but at that time City just it used to come back in a big wash bag and you dived in and got whatever you could. And I didn't realise, so I'm sat out in the dressing room and there's virtually nothing left. Anyway, so I told me I had to get from the pile, and I went and I found this really good pair of shorts, good pair of socks. I thought, oh, great. And somebody just whispered me, said, they're Billy's. Come back.
Very quickly.
Yes.
He just had this presence though, didn't he? Our own Swanee, Peter Swan said, and as big a lad as Swanee is, sitting next to Big Bill in that changing room at Woodbury Park, he felt the presence that was Billy Whitehouse.
Yeah, and I love the bloke as well. Whenever we have a ex-players get together, I always get close to Billy because he's had a couple which he comes quite often.
We'd love to get him on. I'm not sure we can ever get him on live, but we'd love to get him on.
Yeah, it's a time bomb waiting for but his stories are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I just love it. Do you know his big wedding now?
Is he really?
Yep. Well, he was the last time I spoke to him.
Okay.
He was a great figure in West York, in South Yorkshire.
Big Bill could put fear in his seats, to be fair, couldn't he?
He probably could.
Not being funny. He could. I just remember seeing as a kid at soccer schools and things, if he turned up, people would swarm to him. Locally, and people think you're exaggerating, it was that Ronaldo effect, like, did you see that? People would just swarm to him, wouldn't they? Kids loved it.
Yeah.
All fans did.
Yeah, he's got all sorts going for him. His charisma was fantastic.
Yeah.
But he was actually a very, very good footballer as well.
Oh, he was.
You know, he's remembered for being a bit of a brute.
Yeah.
But he was a very good footballer.
Ian Jones found out about him, didn't he, once?
I think he did.
John Hawley on the larger-than-life character that is Billy Whitehurst. Now the final word goes to an ex-Tiger from the late 70s, early 80s who's gone on to be successful off the field. He's now the managing director of global football at Manchester City. Recently, Brian Marwood spoke to James Hogarth to reminisce about his time with Hull City and admitted he doesn't get a chance to come back to his old club too often.
No, unfortunately I don't. I mean, it's changed a lot from my time here. I was, of course, delighted to come back when Hull were in the Premier League and we played them Manchester City against Hull, so it was a nice moment to come back. Yeah, I had a bit of a trip down memory lane today. I sort of found and saw a very, very, very close and old friend, Dennis Booth, former player at Hull. And so I had a little bit of time with him this morning, and then I drove into town and just kind of revisited some old sites and brought back a few memories. And yeah, it was great. It was great. And this is an amazing historic building that we're in today. So yeah, a lot of good memories.
How did your love affair with Hull begin? How did you end up in the city?
Well, I was a 16-year-old. I came as what they call apprentices then. We call them scholars now. But so I came at 16 and I left a small town in the northeast coast in Harbour, population of about 20,000. All my mates were either going and being a coal miner or going to the shipbuilding in Sunderland. I was fortunate. I got an opportunity to come here. And I was determined to make the most of it. Had 8 years here, left when I was 24, got to Sheffield Wednesday, and experienced an amazing amount in 8 years, you know, from the club running the receivership, whether we were going to have jobs or not, having some success, obviously relegations, and then missing out on promotion by kind of winning 2-0 last game of the season at Burnley, and if we won 3-0 we got promoted to the old second division as it was. So lots of great memories, wonderful people, still in contact with those people, even now today. Yeah, and I follow the club still with their results, so I watch them when they're on TV.
What was it like initially, coming from the northeast and settling into Hull?
There was a lot of similarities. I mean, this is obviously a kind of a port town. So you got Sunderland and Newcastle, so you kind of had that similar identity. It was very steeped in sport. I mean, Yorkshire cricket used to play at the Circle, which was now where the stadium is. So very passionate about sport, very working class.
area, which was very similar to what I grew up in. So there was a lot of things there that were connected. The one big thing that connected me at the time was when I came into Lodgings, and it wasn't the easiest of times for me. And I ended up playing for a cricket team called the Ex-Tigers. I don't know whether they still do it, but it was kind of with some current players and former players. And I met this amazing guy called Billy Brown. He was a very famous goalkeeper here who played in the days of Rich Carlton. And I was telling him that, and he was from the North East, I was telling him I'd come down, and I was finding it difficult, and he said, okay, you're going to come and live with me and my wife. And he was like a second father to me, and it was, he made me feel comfortable and happy, not just he and his wife, the whole family were amazing. And I began to just kind of feel like I belonged a little bit at the club, and the kind of got confidence and belief in myself, which I probably lacked at that moment. And then I got my opportunity, was probably a little bit later than everyone else, because I was a bit of a late developer, size-wise I wasn't the biggest. But then when I got my chance, I was just trying to determine to make the most of it. And it was an easy period. Mike Smith gave me my debut in 1981 against Westfield Town. And they were not easy times for the club in those years, but just to have that experience of playing and playing first-team football was something that you'd always dreamt about.
What memorable games stand out for you?
Well, the Burnley game, of course, was memorable for some wrong reasons, because we didn't get promoted, but we won 2-0 and I scored 2 goals. I remember playing with Emily Hughes against Port Vale at home in front of 18,000, which was, I think we drew the game, but kind of Emily Hughes, great iconic player. There was a lot, and the fact is that we went through these, some of the things were, some of the dark moments when we were losing games, when we were getting relegated, when there was only maybe 1,700 to 2,000 people in the stadium. Boothby Park was a big stadium, and to all that we wanted to move, and that was a bit daunting and difficult. And then we began turning things around, and the fans came out and started believing in Don Robinson coming in as the owner, and again he took that belief to a whole new level. And then it was just, the club was on a bit of a momentum. It was on a journey back to hopefully where they believe they belong. And there was, I think that's only when you finish playing, you look back and you realise sometimes how special those moments were. And you sometimes take it a little bit for granted at the time. But now lots of
there's a whole generation of fans who have never seen Boothby Park other than probably photographs online, things like that. But that generation, but also the generation who do remember going to Boothby Park, what made it a special place to play football?
Well, it was one of the unique clubs where it had 6 floodlights. It had a train station. I remember as an apprentice sweeping the terraces after home games, and actually we used to double our wages. My lodgings were paid with £12 and I was earning £10 a week, so that was my salary. But we used to make a lot of money after home games because the 2 sets of fans, the away fans and home fans, were tight, and obviously change would spill out of their pockets. So when you were sweeping, you could make a few quid on a Monday after the game on a Saturday. But I think that it was, you had the training ground right next, so it was behind one of the stands. We had an amazing gymnasium, which felt like the size of a football pitch. It was, football stadiums at that time were always quite unique. But it was the essence of what the game used to be. And of course the game has changed dramatically. A lot of clubs built new stadiums, or had to, in the 80s there was a number of disasters that forced people to change, which was clearly the right thing to do. So a lot of football stadiums are modernised, but they feel a little bit clinical, and lacking
that connection with history. Boothby Park had that. Boothby Park had that wonderful connection of kind of a lot of famous games. Obviously, we're always reminded about the Ken Lysaght, Chris Chilton days of how they were both working at the club, so I used to remind you on a constant basis. Yeah, there was a lot of rich history. Rich Carter, Billy Blige, those great players.
We've seen pictures of Don Robertson, we've heard the stories, but was he the showman that outwardly gave off that image of the white horse, the white steed running coming onto Boothby Park? Was it like that to play under him?
It was, the guy had, I think he woke up every day, he probably had 100 ideas of like his business, his football club. What he had was an amazing energy, an energy that just got people connected with what he was doing. I didn't really know too much about what his business was up in Scarborough, but I saw what he brought to the football club. I think when we did the record, I think it was called The Tigers Are Back. It was the worst song ever, but he made you believe we were the Beatles. we were rock and roll, and we recorded it in the boardroom, so you imagine the acoustics were a disaster. But he just got that feel-good factor that he creates for the club. And however he did it, he was just one of those believable guys. In every sense you believed. He took you on that journey with his energy, his determination. Nothing could get in the way. This guy was just, he was just obsessed with making the football club successful. And it kind of needed, the club needed that energy, it needed that resurgence. And we were fortunate to find somebody like Don that brought that.
That was Brian Marwood, and that's it for our time with just a few key figures from Hull City's history. But there are hundreds more that have played such influential roles over the years. Hopefully, there are more great times ahead and less of some of those less enjoyable days in the timeless future. I've been Mike White, and this has been a Hull City 120th anniversary special on BBC Radio Homicide Sport.
To hear the latest on Hull City, click subscribe to have content direct to your phone, or search Hull City on BBC Sounds.